representing Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that.
Hello. Welcome into the show, everybody. Can you believe this? How about this? We've only got 5 more days until football's actually back. That was the last weekend with no football.
What?
Week 0 coming up, if that counts. Some view it as it's just an appetizer. I'm kind of in that group. But nonetheless, football's going to be back next week. It's kind of the last Monday without a true version of it. I guess we have next Monday, too, because it's not like Michigan State, or the Lions play next week. Either way, football's almost here, and I know everybody's really excited about that. We desperately need it. We'll get into a Lions conversation because there's one unit. The preseason propaganda has begun. Is it real? Is it real hype? Is there something to look forward to with this position group, or is it just preseason propaganda? We'll get into that momentarily. Let's start here with the Tigers, who got swept over the weekend. I don't want to say their season's done with 32 games left, Kyle, but they're like laying on their deathbed in life support right now, I would say. And there's a 50-50 chance they just never wake up, and us as the Tigers family are considering pulling the plug on them at this point. That's kind of what happens after you get swept by the last place Kansas City Royals. Yes, they're not technically out of it with 32 games left, 3.5 out in the wild card. Hard to feel like this team has any chance of survival the way that they're playing right now. Still no Riley Green, still on the IL with the hamstring injury. And then the heart of the lineup has just completely disappeared. They're 1-8 in the last 9 games. After they claimed a playoff spot, they just decided, hey, you know that thing we like to do called winning? We're just not going to do that anymore. Since that stretch has begun, the last 9 games, Spencer Torkelson's hitting 40. Yes, 0-4-0. And Dylan Dingler's hitting 97. So not only are the two guys in the heart of the lineup hitting below the Mendoza line, whatever the line of hitting 100 is, we should probably rename that as well. Both Dylan Dingler and Spencer Torkelson are below that. If you're going to get that sort of production from the heart of the lineup, I'm sorry, it doesn't really matter what Kevin McGonigal and Gleyber Torres are doing at the top of the lineup. It doesn't even matter that Hal Yuli's hitting 400 during that stretch. He only plays half the time anyway, thanks to A.J. Hinch's platoon strategy. That's what's going to happen. 1-8 over their past 9 games. I mean, you can basically count them out of the AL Central race if you weren't already doing that. They've got everybody to pass in the wild card standings, and I'm sitting here looking at this team that's in a coma on their deathbed, and just, I think I've made peace with it, Kyle. I don't really think that they're waking up. It would take a miracle. Here's the thing, the Tigers have had miracles happen in them over the past 2 seasons. Like, this wouldn't be as crazy of a miracle as they got 2 years ago. I'm not expecting another one, though, and that's kind of where I am on this Monday. Yeah, the Tiger season is all but over. I have the white flag up in the air. It's just not being waved quite yet. It's in my hand, and it's not going to take all that much for me to start waving it at this point. I'm ready to throw in the towel. You got to save your fighter, you know? Can't let him die out in the ring. We're getting ready to throw that towel in.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, it might be. It might just be over.
It's over. You can't get swept by the worst team in the league. I mean, it's that simple. It's the worst team in your division. They had a grand opportunity the weekend before against the Chicago White Sox, the first-place team. They get swept by them, and then you get swept by the worst team in the division. The playoff percentage has gone down below 5%. That's not a great sign.
It sucks at, like, the timing of it, too. Like, they claimed a playoff spot, and that is exactly when Dylan Dingler was like, see you guys.
Everyone. I mean, that was when they decided to just lose a bunch of games. Dingler went away. Spencer Torkelson, who we had crowned as the guy that, you know, has been a main part of why the Tigers have been in this push to get back into a playoff spot. He's been gone. Riley Green gets injured right at the same time as well. Like, all of that stuff collectively happening at once, it shouldn't be a shock that they're in the spot that they are right now with all those things going on.
I put together a little timeline for you of just like all the things that have happened that have dictated the Tigers season. There's about 7 of these.
So there's got to be a lot of events on this timeline, a lot of checkpoints.
Yeah, I've narrowed it down to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 checkpoints that define the Tigers season. I want to ask you if I'm missing any. So first and foremost, the way this season starts, everybody gets hurt. That's bullet point number 1. Then they go 6-22 in May. Then they become the best team in baseball. Best ERA, best run differential, most amount of runs scored, most home runs. That one
lasted a while, too.
In the midst of that, they blow a ton of games. They trade Skubal and Mize. Max Clark debuts. That was a fun couple weeks. Riley Green gets hurt. Dylan Dingler collapse. The end? Am I missing anything? Is anything else going to happen? Or is that just kind of how the season went?
Is there another checkpoint waiting on this timeline, or is this the end of it? Oh, I like that.
Also, did I miss any important event that happened throughout the course of the season? I feel like I nailed all of them. That's kind of just
Eduardo
how the
Valencia.
season went. Yeah, that was a fun
maybe
couple
just
days.
him as a whole.
I think it might just be over.
I mean, I do think it's over. Yeah, I do. It's obviously not, yet based off of the teams that are still in this thing. Like, it's crazy that the Tigers can get swept, and yet you look at the wild card race and you're like,
You start to convince yourself of, all they have to do is just
3.5
get hot
games.
one more
But then
time.
you're like, wait, the Seattle Mariners, a team that has lost 2 games in the last week by a combined 40 runs, are ahead of you in the wild card race? That's not a great
They lost
sign.
another game by 20 runs?
Yeah, they lost 17-3 yesterday.
Yeah, that team is ahead of the Tigers. Everybody's ahead of the Tigers other than like a couple teams at the very bottom who have basically already been eliminated, like the Royals, who you just got swept by, and the A's and the Angels, who the Angels are like weirdly hot right now. Yeah, man, if Riley Green's going to stay on the IL and Dylan Dingler and Torkelson are going to play the way that they're playing, they won't win another game, let alone win a series or get themselves back into the wild card race. Because realistically, they're 3.5 out. But they're behind almost every team in terms of the tiebreaker. They've lost a lot of these season series against the teams that they're competing with. So really, they're like 4.5 out, which that all of a sudden feels like it's a little bit too much to overcome with 32 games left. Because when you win one game, it's like, okay, cool. At least 2 other teams had to have won yesterday, and we make up almost no ground in this.
Yeah.
That's the difficult part about it. So that's where the Tigers are. They weren't the only team in action this weekend, though. The Lions had a preseason game against the Commanders, and Kyle, I got to tell you, I don't know if it's just me off the juice, the preseason propaganda. This pass rush seems about as legitimate as you can make it be when you're playing in a preseason game. And look, I totally understand. It's preseason. Every single offensive line is terrible. Like, I'm so glad that the Lions have never once considered playing Jared Goff or Jahmyr Gibbs in these preseason games because you throw it on. It's just every quarterback you watch is just under pressure pretty much every snap, it feels like. These offensive lines are terrible. Backup offensive linemen, they're just not good. There's not good backup offensive linemen across the NFL. Otherwise, they'd just be starters. So I get that part of it, and I'm willing to acknowledge that right now. And with that being said, I think Derek Moore is the next coming of Jesus. I can't wait to see him and Hutchinson next to each other. Then you get into like guys like Skylar Gill-Howard, who's this defensive tackle that they took in the 6th round this year, who's got all this pass rush juice. The Lions' defensive line is picking up a lot of buzz right now. Even DJ Wonnum ends up getting a sack against Jaden Daniels early in the game. Derek Moore, his box score's not like crazy. He only got 1 sack, but he felt like he was living in the backfield. Play early on got nullified because of a defensive holding call or some sort of flag. He just basically threw the offensive tackle into Jaden Daniels. He looked like a complete monster after missing about 7 days in training camp. He comes back, plays in his first preseason game, and just made a great impression on everybody. And I know I've made my stance pretty clear on how I think Hutchinson's going to play this year. If Derek Moore's firing on all cylinders, if Aleem McNeil looks like the 2024 version of himself rather than the 2025 version of himself, an additional year removed from that ACL injury, I think this is, without a doubt, the best supporting cast that Hutchinson has ever had. And he finished 5th in Defensive Player of the Year voting last year with a bad supporting cast. Derek Moore might be a real problem for a lot of other teams, and it might give Hutchinson the opportunity to have a guy next to him or across from him this year on the defensive line. I'm starting to get really bullish on this unit.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not be? I get it's preseason, and I'm not a person that ever really reacts to preseason stuff. But when it is coming from a guy that was drafted relatively high, and it's a position that us Lions fans have just been really just trying to grasp at anything to give any sign of life of, oh, this could be the future guy next to Aiden Hutchinson. That guy could be the future guy next to Aiden Hutchinson. Well, they just had to go to the same school that Hutchinson is from because that's where Derek Moore is snagged from. And I'm very excited about the season we had from him. You know, we did our most intriguing players draft or whatever a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago.
I don't think he got drafted, did he?
I took Derek Moore in the second round.
Oh, great pick then. Saw the future.
Yes.
I don't even think he was like on my board really.
That's where I was going with that. You know, I took Derek Moore relatively early because I was very intrigued just about what type of role he's going to play. And even from now until then, it feels like it's only gotten better and better. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. It's very exciting.
989-837-6125. Lions pass rush. Is it going to be a problem? Or is this just propaganda? It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, siding looking tired on your home, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today. Keep your home strong for years to come. 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Iron Stack Technology. You know, we talk about the game plans all the time on this show. Execution of it. That is how Iron Stack approaches IT. They help businesses stay secure, efficient, and ready for what's next, so you can focus on your mission instead of your technology. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission focus. Check them out online at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Myth.
So what do we think, guys? Is this going to be a problem, or is this just propaganda that Lions media is putting out there, that this supporting cast around Hutchinson, built for Hutchinson, is going to be one of the better defensive lines in the NFL? And I know we have talked about this a little bit in the past leading up to the preseason game this past weekend. We hit on this late last week, but for them to go out and perform the way that they did, granted, against backup offensive linemen, I'll acknowledge it. For them to go perform the way that they did, though, where it felt like they were living in the backfield, getting a hold of Jaden Daniels and whoever the hell else was playing quarterback for the Commanders, how can that not be an encouraging sign from this pass rush unit? Whether it was Derek Moore, DJ Woonham, both got a lot of playing time yesterday. The defensive tackles looked like they were getting in the backfield all the time. You know, the advanced numbers, they're fine. You know, the win rates, the pressures. If you watch that game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Whoever was playing quarterback for the Commanders, whether it was the beginning of the game or the end, was under constant duress from these guys that we're all excited about. I'm walking into this season, yes, petrified of what the secondary looks like, and understanding that, hey, when Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph aren't playing for the first couple weeks, this could be a team that's giving up 280 yards through the air. That might not be the case if this pass rush is half as good as we think they could be at the end of the season. And it's going to take a little bit. It's not like they're going to walk into week one with the best pass rush in the NFL. Hell, I don't think that's their ceiling. Like, they could be the best. They could be the best version of themselves. I don't think it's the best pass rush in the NFL at all. But if this can be like a top 10 unit, maybe even closer to top, like that, I don't think is all that crazy. And that actually will help the secondary a lot, because if the quarterback doesn't have time to go find open receivers down the field, the secondary's job all of a sudden becomes a lot easier. And I'm starting to get kind of ridiculously bullish on their ability to do that this upcoming season.
To do what?
Just to cause mayhem in the backfield.
Mayhem?
And make the secondary's life a lot easier, because it's a bunch of no-names that most Lions fans don't really know who's starting out there,
I just
specifically
don't really
with
get
the safeties.
what you're asking or what you're saying here. Like, what is the flag that you're planting on the pass rush? They could cause chaos.
I think this is going.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that this unit was a monstrous on Saturday. I'm asking our audience simply: is this going to be a problem, or is this just preseason propaganda? Because I'm not exactly sure what it is yet. I think it's going to be great. I think this is a legitimate problem, or I'm just convincing myself this is going to be a problem because it's preseason and we have nothing else to talk about, and I'm going to latch on to a great performance against backup offensive tackles.
And I think the fact that both of the two teams that the Lions have played so far in the preseason have had some starters out there, including both starting quarterbacks at the beginning of each game, I think that probably helps a little bit. You know, that adds a little bit of juice to the matter.
Yeah.
I'm just very interested, like, how much does this affect what Derek Moore's actual reps are going to be? Like, how much time is he actually going to see out on the field for the Lions? Is he legit just going to be the edge rusher 2 every snap out there with Aiden Hutchinson? I don't necessarily know. That was something that I don't think any Lions fan really expected coming into this year, that this would be some sort of a rotation. You know, DJ Woonham has kind of been the guy that they have talked about to be certainly in that spot as much as Derek Moore is going to be. So that's the part about this that I'm very questioning. Like, how much has Moore earned his spot as far as being out there on a first, second, third down basis next to Aiden Hutchinson?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be every play early on in the season. I think they are excited about Woonham, who played 7 pass rush snaps in the preseason game, had a sack in there. Derek Moore played 16 pass rush snaps, had a sack in there, 2 total pressures. Like, again, the numbers don't wow you, but these guys lived in the backfield every game. And I do expect Hutchinson to just continue to play at his like 88, 90% snap rate, which is one of the higher ones in the NFL, and he's got the juice to be able to do it. I expect him to do that, and then I kind of just think it's going to be a rotation, like maybe even a 50-50 split of what Woonham and Moore look like at the beginning of the season, with McNeil and Tyleik Williams as the defensive tackles. But what gets me really excited is when it is a 3rd and 10 and you can lean a little bit more into the slimmer guys who are getting after the quarterback, and all of a sudden it's Hutchinson, Derek Moore, DJ Woonham, Ali McNeil, Skylar Gill-Howard. Like, this guy might be legit as it gets for a 6th-round pick playing defensive tackle. You put all 5 of those guys out there on a NASCAR package with the sole goal of get to the quarterback. That's where I feel like the Lions actually might have a strength for the first time. That is their pass rush. That's where I get really excited, because not only is it like top heavy, and if Derek Moore hits, maybe even there's 2 like studs, it's really deep too, because we haven't even talked about Amen Hasneen, who had a great week 1 in preseason. We even talked about Levi Wunzarike. He had a really good game on Saturday as well. Like, it is a deep defensive line. That's the part of it that gets me excited the most. Whether or not they're going to be able to stop the run, I think, they need to get better in that compared to what they were last year versus the years prior. But I'm starting to have an increasing faith that this team can get after the quarterback at an explosive rate. After having the 4th most sacks in the NFL last season, it just took a long time to get home on a lot of those sacks.
Pizza Man says, preseason second stringers, it's propaganda.
I was worried people might say that. And that's the thing. I have to be able to recognize that this is against backup offensive linemen. And until they do it on TV against the legitimate NFL team,
yeah. Well, and like,
it's going to be taped.
I mean, even zoom it out even further. It's just preseason. And what's the number 1 rule of preseason?
Don't
overreact to preseason. It's just the number 1 rule. And most of the time, don't overreact means the opposite way. Like, if a guy doesn't perform great, don't make that seem like he's just going to suck.
Like when I tweeted out they should cut Larry Borum after 2 plays. Was that an overreaction?
Probably.
Okay. I just wanted to double check.
Why'd you say that?
Because Larry Borum sucked. So they had that play to open up the game, right? The second play of the game was
the fumble.
The fumble.
Sack.
The fumble strip sack. And they showed the replay, and Larry Borum just gets beat one-on-one. It's not even close. He just gets, like, bullied. And I'm like, what? We're paying this guy $8 million, and he's losing to these backup edge rushers? So then for the next 5 plays, I only watched him, and I think he lost every single rep. And I texted you. I was like, watch Larry Borum only right now. He's losing every single snap. So when I texted you or I tweeted out, cut Larry Borum, all right, I'll admit, maybe a little bit of an overreaction for preseason. Sounds like other people are saying, yeah, you going the other way with this pass rush might be a little bit of an overreaction. And I'm okay putting my hand up and admitting that a little bit. I'm okay admitting that I've been drinking the Honolulu Blue Kool-Aid and I need this season to start. But it is something that I'm looking forward to seeing, and I do feel like I can be a little bit bullish and optimistic towards this unit, where I'm not going to say that about the secondary at all. I'm not going to try to convince our audience that the secondary is better than you think it is. I'm not. But with this pass rush, I do think there is some upside here, which would just take pressure off of the secondary. It would make their life easier, especially with no Branch and no Kirby to start out the season.
And it's just already the weakest unit on the team.
Correct.
Most likely. Obviously, there's an opportunity for it to be other things. But we certainly don't think it's going to be the defensive line based off what we've seen. And it's guys that we likely will see out there throughout the regular season as well. It's not like it is the Larry Borums of the world that are shining in preseason, because we hope to not see that guy. It's guys that we actually are going to see on this defensive line.
Got a text that said, we should be more concerned about the offensive line after watching this preseason game. It wasn't great. Fully admit, I think Tate Ratledge, his numbers look pretty good, but outside of that, it did feel like the Lions were just getting pressured over and over and over again. I'm like, where I'm getting more bullish on the defensive line, the offensive line is starting to freak me out a little bit, because it does seem like we're 2.5 weeks away from the season starting, and we still don't know who the starting 5 guys are going to be. We have a good idea, but it's not really a guarantee, and that's not a good sign.
Not something that should be concerning, and this is certainly like, if this is more of if you're in the neck of the, just how the depth chart looks right now. The Mahogany stuff has been weird, the way that they've handled this. Like, why is Mahogany not just guaranteed the starting left guard spot? It all but feels like they want anyone else to take his job.
And there's no one available to snatch it from him.
And there's just no options to. And maybe that's just what it is. They want to give him some sort of competition by not promising anything, which I get that from a guy that's not like a guaranteed starter in this league. But I don't know. The guy that's going to be in between Penei Sewell and what was supposed to be Cade Mays, who we did feel good about, that really shouldn't feel like that big of a deal of who's going to be in that spot, because you're next to Penei Sewell at the end of the day. and yet it feels like they can't figure out who that starter is going to be.
Yeah, I would love it if Dan Campbell's just like, no, we feel great about Mahogany being there. Obviously, we'd love to bring in some competition for him because that room's thin, but Christian Mahogany, we have all the confidence in the world in him. And he's just like had every opportunity to say that and refuses to do it. Every single time.
And
just
they say it about
the
other guys, Tate Ratledge, so it's a bit concerning. We obviously still don't know who the for real starting center is going to be. We have an idea of it.
But how often do all 5 of these guys, even like let's say it is Drew Scruggs, how many reps do these guys even have together? Almost none as a starting 5.
I mean, I would assume they're getting them throughout practice and training camp, but I get what you're saying.
Scruggs has been dealing with an injury too, though.
Sure,
with this hamstring thing where they're taking it light and don't think he's going to miss any time, but you got to get these guys up to speed at some point playing together, and it feels like they've just not had the opportunity to do that. How's that offensive line talk for you? Offensive guard talk for you here on a Monday morning. We'll hit the news when we come back. We've got winners and whiners from over the weekend. The Tigers being on life support, all still coming up here on the Ben Bosscher Show. 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Iron Stack Technology. Heyman, Michigan, do your eyes feel itchy, dry, or irritated all day? That's not normal, and Mid-Modern Eye Care and Dry Eye Clinic specializes in dry eye treatment that actually works. If your eyes burn, water, or feel tired from screens, they can help you get real lasting relief. From advanced dry eye care to exams, glasses, and contacts, they've got you covered. Stop dealing with the discomfort and start seeing comfortably again. See better, feel better. Mid-Modern Eye Care and Dry Eye Clinic next to Kroger in Midland.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mix. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Nine 837-6125. Let's jump right into the news. Kyle Sandel, make sure we're not missing anything from over the weekend. Here's the Mid-Morning Catch.
The Mits Morning Catch.
Okay, busy weekend. Just kidding. Nothing's going on still.
Kind of one of the last weekends where it's not crazy busy.
There was still a decent amount of stuff, but yeah, you're right. Hopefully from this point on, the news will be jam-packed. Tigers-Rays tonight, though. They kick off a 3-game series at 6:40. It's Framber Valdez versus Drew Rasmussen. Tigers coming off of the sweep, obviously. So let's take a look at the updated standings across Major League Baseball. The Rays are still the best team in the American League at 77-53. They're in the lead of the East. The White Sox still hold a good grip on the Central, despite the Cleveland Guardians winning 4 games in a row. And then the Houston Astros and Texas Rangers are now tied for first place in the American League West that has 0 teams above 500.
Nice. That's really strong stuff.
Yeah, nice job from the AL West. Everyone always likes to tease the Central. Well, it's the West this year. That's the bad one. As far as the wild card goes, we mentioned it, the Tigers are 3.5 games out, but there are so many teams that separate them in that final team. Texas and Cleveland are tied for that final spot right now. Toronto's a game and a half out. Both Minnesota and Baltimore are 2 games out, and Seattle is 3 games out. So a lot of teams in between the Tigers right now. They find themselves in last place of the teams that are kind of still in the mix, even though we wrote off the Mariners, and now they're behind the Mariners. So does that technically mean the Tigers are out?
Yeah, it probably does. Now, we're saying all this like, oh, they're on their deathbed, they're in a coma. The last time they played the Rays, they swept them while the Rays were the hottest team in the league. Is there, what are the chances that after these 3 games, The Undertaker, where he's dead and he just sits up and it's like, oh my God, he's alive? What are the odds that we get that from the Tigers over the next 3 games? Because I feel like that's just bound to happen. And then we have to do the rope-a-dope for another 30 days.
Tigers playoff odds, what do you think they are? Just to make the playoffs.
Like betting odds?
Yeah.
Plus 550?
Plus 880.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Seattle's plus 172, and they're a half game up on them. So
I wouldn't encourage anyone betting on that.
Everybody just, I guess they like Seattle still to do something despite what's going on with them.
The Riley Green injury was, we said it while it happened, and then they won the Cleveland series without him, but that ended up being pretty detrimental, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it ended up being, it still is right now. I mean, he's still not back yet.
He can't win a game.
Is eligible to come off of the injured list now, right? It was the 10-day, and I think it's been definitely 10 days by now. So hopefully we get some sort of update leading up to the game tonight.
But it sounded like they want to give him a rehab start before he comes back. Yeah, because he hasn't faced any
hopefully
pitching.
We at least get that update of when that's going to happen. So
that would be nice.
Tigers, as mentioned, 6:40 tonight against the Rays. They're at home. They're at home for back-to-back series here against the Rays, and then they take on the almighty LA Dodgers this weekend. Speaking of the Dodgers, looking at an update on the MVP race and award races in baseball. Pete Crow Armstrong is stretching out that lead over the weekend, Ben. Minus 185 to win the NL MVP. Shohei Ohtani at plus 150. We mentioned last week you'll probably never get better Ohtani MVP odds than the plus 140. Well, you get better ones right now, plus 150. So we'll see if anything changes with that this week, or if Ohtani goes off against the Tigers, you get to see it in person. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. Speaking of the Tigers and speaking of the Dodgers, have you seen Tarik Skubal's pitch count the last 2 games that he's played?
I did have that in the news. Yes, another highest pitch count of his career the other day, right? 106, I think is what it was.
After a 109 from his previous start.
Yes. Yeah, pretty ridiculous. And it's funny because after the 109, he was mad. He was like, I only was out there for 6 1/3. Like, that's not good. I need to be out there for 7 innings. What do you mean, dude? You did that every game for the Tigers. Crazy that I mean, it legit. It feels like the Dodgers are almost using him like a rental car. It's like, I don't care about the mileage on this thing. I don't care about, we'll take the long route. I don't care about speed-wise. We're just going to use this thing like crazy since we have it for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Not a good look for A.J. Hinch, I would say. He's probably the biggest loser of Skubal going 105-plus pitches twice already as a Dodger. Yeah, this is a lot of A.J. Hinch slander I'm seeing online on Twitter.
Yes.
this weekend. And I got to say, I think it's for good reason. This whole managing the bullpen thing has not been in favor of him this season. A lot of these
a lot
managerial
hasn't been in favor of him this season.
Correct. A lot of these managerial people measure basically WAR for a manager, success rate on decisions and pinch hits and bullpen moves. I don't really know how these formulas are calculated, but I've seen multiple different formulas that have AJ Hinch as the worst or the least impactful manager in a positive light of the 30 managers in baseball this year.
Will he still be the Tigers manager next season?
Do you know who owns this team?
Got it. Okay.
He'll be the Tigers manager in 2030 when Kevin McGonigal's on the last year of his contract.
American League MVP odds. Yordan Alvarez has fully wrapped this thing up. He's at minus 20,000 right now, and Dylan Dingler is probably soon to be kicked off of even the eligible guys to wager on. He's plus 10,000 right now, which is 6th of 6 guys that you can go for. So, yeah, Dingler is probably about to get booted out of this thing. Really tough stretch for Dylan Dingler. And, the overall season has been great, so that's the tough part about this. But it just does not help that this stretch comes in the time where the Tigers had their best opportunity of the season, at least, to get back into things. And they, of course, did not.
You know who I think about, once a week? I wonder what this guy's thinking right now. Justin Verlander. I wonder what's going through Justin Verlander's head after they get swept this weekend. Yeah.
Is he going to pitch ever? That's mainly what I only think about when I think about Justin Verlander. Okay, we got some interesting news in the whatever you want to call this wild world of college football, college basketball, NFL. Can they go back to school? Can
I call
they
it
not?
hell.
Yeah, whatever that is. With these fifth-year players, the class of 2022 guys, some of them are allowed to come back, some of them aren't. Oh, by the way, football starts this Saturday, and we still don't really know the answer. Well, it gets crazier. Last night, Daquan Wright, who is a tight end, signed by the Cleveland Browns, undrafted free agent. He was initially signed by the Philadelphia Eagles after the draft, released, then claimed on waivers by the Browns earlier this month. He's been working out with the Browns all training camp, I believe playing for them in preseason. And Daquan Wright is going to be waived by the Browns because he is waiting on an agreement to return to college and play for LSU, where he went to school at. As long as he clears waivers, he will sign back with LSU. He's the first player to have an agreement to return to play to college after signing with an NFL team as a free agent.
How is this allowed?
I don't think it is.
Let's strip this down to something very simple. How is someone not stepping in and just saying, "What? No." How is there not a single voice of authority to come in and say, "No, you're Lane Kiffin. You're not allowed to do this." Daquan, what is it? Right. You are not allowed to do this. LSU, you are not allowed to do this. Whether it's Greg Sankey or whether it's the NCAA, how on earth is there someone that does that? How is there not someone who doesn't have the authority to come in and block this action?
I think that based off of what has happened so far, even if someone is able to come in and block this,
it doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. It's like blocked by James, but yet it somehow just bounces off the backboard and still goes in the hoop. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, because you can just turn around and be like, "Oh yeah, well we're suing you. F you, we're suing you." And then everything just gets put on pause.
It's ridiculous. Right now, I think as where we stand currently, it is on a state-by-state basis whether or not the class of 2022 guys can return to college and play. In states like Indiana and I believe Michigan currently, a lot of these Midwest states, it is not allowed. A lot of the states in the South right now, like Mississippi and Louisiana, Ole Miss and LSU have been headliner teams to return guys. You are allowed to play. So this goes for college basketball and for college football, but of course, it heavily affects football right now. Dan Lanning speaking on this yesterday, and he went off. He said, quote, "You're a professional now once you declare for the draft, so to let any of those players come back, fair or unfair to them, it's unfair to the sport, and I think it's unfair to the players that are on current teams for those guys to be coming back."
True. Imagine being the starting tight end, and then Daquan Walker's like, "Hey."
Daquan Wright, yep.
Daquan Wright, "Hey, I'm here."
And then the guy just loses his spot.
Yeah,
I mean, that was Tom
that
Izzo's
sucks.
whole thing. And I do just want to defend Izzo a little bit here because there was a lot of people that went at Tom Izzo when Jackson Kohler transferred to BYU. By the way, Jackson Kohler is now ineligible to go play at BYU based off of the ruling we got last Friday. This is why Izzo stayed out of it, because it's such a freaking mess. And it's so hard to navigate. And the fact that football starts in less than 7 days and we don't know if some of these guys are allowed to play or not, like this could trickle into the season. A guy might join a team week 3.
Yeah, which like is not how football should work. You're supposed to go through like training camp and know a playbook, not just get picked up in the middle of the season.
Which I guess like there is that happens in free agency in the NFL, I guess, but I don't know. This has become ridiculous. I am a person that I do think the class of 2022 guys should be allowed to play a 5th year, but it has lasted too long now. You know, that should have been decided on when the new 5-year plan for college athletes went into circuit. It should have been, hey, this is kind of unfair to the class of 2022 guys. Why do they only get 4 years when now everyone else gets 5? I thought it was fair. They should get a 5th year. I agree. But the fact that all of those players have gone through NFL draft processes and have gone through training camps and undrafted free agency and signing with other leagues, the second you do that stuff, it's over.
I'm with you. And Lane Kiffin's like, by any means necessary, baby. That's how they do it down south. 989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid. Your dream lawn, yeah, Cervinsky sod can quite literally roll that out. Top quality sod that turns patchy yards into backyard showstoppers, and they've been doing it for over 50 years, which means they are experts. Whether you're fixing a rough spot or just redoing your entire yard, Cervinsky delivers lush, green perfection. Fast, friendly, and farm fresh because your grass should be greener right now. Don't settle for a yard. Increase the value of your home and get the lawn your neighbors will envy with Cervinsky sod.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Nine 837-6125. Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show, everybody. It is Monday, and we got to do a little housekeeping. I like to call this segment Winners and Whiners.
It's time for Winners and Whiners.
Winner, chicken dinner.
All right, we got a couple to get to. A couple sound bites as well. Kyle, do you want to start with a winner or a whiner?
Let's do a winner, huh? Let's be a little bit more positive.
Okay, well, I think we might have had someone, like, typically, Penei Sewell, he is the top of the top if we're doing pregame speeches, postgame locker room speeches. Who's the number one guy I want to listen to? It's usually Penei Sewell. He's got a rival now. Cowboys rookie offensive lineman, Shiaz Pete, I believe is how you say his last name, had this to say about the Cowboys' win in preseason in the locker room after the game.
Well, that was an incredible win. I am very fortunate to be amongst you and to play in the same field where the same star hold it on our chest. And I'm proud of us. I'm proud of how far we've come. Oh, man, this game, fate brought us here as strangers, but this game, this star, this team will make us brothers.
It's so good. It's so good. Those guys screaming that's a bar, because it is. It's one of the best speeches I've ever heard, Kyle. Oh, it was so good. I hope we get a follow-up from this guy next. I need a preseason or a pregame / postgame quote from this guy every week the rest of the season, because I've seen that clip probably 10 times now. And it's still giving me chills on how good it is.
Yeah, I mean, it gave major Penei Sewell vibes, and yet it comes from a guy that is not the 7th overall pick in the draft like Penei Sewell was, you know? So it's very cool.
It's funny because Sewell does it with like almost an anger to him, like it gets you fired up. That one was from the soul. That interview or that post game speech.
More Cowboys juice from Ben this offseason, man. He's all in on the Cowboys. Now he's playing sound bites from the Cowboys.
I like him, man. I like the Cowboys hanging in this year. All right, that's a winner. How about a whiner from NFL preseason? Here's Deshaun Watson on getting booed in his preseason game this weekend.
Man, I didn't have no reaction. I think the biggest thing is, I think you guys know too, and I think the whole world knows. It has nothing to do about the performance. It's a little bit personal than that. So, I think it's a disrespectful thing. So, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep whatever I feel with me and my family internally on how I feel about that.
It's a disrespectful thing and it's personal. Yeah, we know. Of course, it's personal. You're a scumbag of a person. And by the way, you went 5 for 12 for 36 total yards. 3.0 yards per attempt. But what is this guy talking about? I told you on Friday, it feels like Deshaun Watson's just there to collect a check and he has no desire to play football. Yeah, all those thoughts confirmed after hearing this press conference. I don't think he has any interest in playing quarterback anymore.
I actually disagree. Like, I agree with you, but I think he believes he is earned. He like is deserving of another chance for some reason. That's the vibe I get from him. Like, I do think he wants to play
football.
Yes, I think he wants to play, but I think that it needs to be given to him. Like, he is owed by the rest of the universe to be given another opportunity, which just couldn't be further from the case.
He's victimizing himself in this situation because people are out to get him because he made, checks notes, over 50 women victims of sexual assault because he's a horrible person.
This is the best way that I saw this view, because Deshaun Watson, when also asked about, like, hey, doesn't, like, the way that the fans have, booed you and stuff, like, isn't that kind of a sign of your performance? Like, isn't this more of a performance thing rather than a personal thing? And he said, when I tore my Achilles the last time I played for this team, I got booed, or they cheered when I tore my Achilles. These fans cheered. Like, they've done nothing but booed me. So, yes, it's all about that. Deshaun, I would be concerned if I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. Let's go through the timeline. Okay, you are one of the worst guys in the league. Over 20 different women accuse you of of so many different types of assault or whatever you want to call it. All of that stuff. Then they trade their best quarterback that they've had in quite some time. Baker Mayfield broke the long Cleveland Browns streak of getting to the playoffs, and they won a playoff game. And then they just don't bring him back. Okay, cool, got it. Let's bring in Deshaun Watson instead.
Give him
Trade 2 first-round picks.
Yep.
Give him the highest contract of all time. He comes to your team. He sucks on top of the fact that he's the worst guy in the league. If they weren't booing for you, that would be concerning.
Yeah.
You've given them zero reason to cheer, except for the time you got injured.
And the contract was so bad that the NFL owners got together and were like, yeah, we cannot fully guarantee contracts anymore. Like, just don't ever do that again, because that was the worst decision that any GM has ever made. It's a 0 out of 10 trade, 0 out of 10 contract, yet this guy's complaining that people are booing him. I guess he's not complaining. He doesn't care. He thinks it's all personal.
He thinks it's all...
It is personal. You
Correct.
suck as a human. Not only a football player, but a human. You're terrible. So you can't be all that shocked when people are booing you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just don't get it. Like, what do you want the Browns fans to do? Do you want them to be all, oh, Deshaun, he's back.
We're
Yay.
so happy.
You've given them zero
video.
reason to like them. You've given them zero reason to have any sort of happiness when they see your face. So, yeah, that's why they're going to react like that. And honestly, I can't believe that Todd Monken said that he's going to make a decision today, and he said that the Deshaun presser had nothing to do with it. Okay, sure.
I don't know, man. I'd be
Shadur's
shocked
about
if
to get
he's
the
allowed
starting
to.
job, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would be shocked if you let Deshaun Watson enter the huddle week 1 as a starter.
But didn't it feel like he was just going to get the starting job? I mean, it was basically written into existence.
Before this weekend, I think he was going to get it. And I think from my perspective, like listening to this press conference, all the stuff we've heard about him and read about him, just like the lack of A, awareness, B, leadership, C, desire to play football. I just don't think you can send that guy out there week 1 and then expect everyone to rally behind him on the team if you're trying to win games, which I think the Browns are kind of trying to win games, or at least see what they have.
Yeah,
I think that'd be pretty, like, to send that guy out there sends a message of like, yeah, we don't really, well, sends a lot of different messages, but I think maybe most importantly, we're not really all that competitive in trying to win these games. Or do you believe in like a a lot of people think, based on how strong you are mentally, spiritually, like that's going to help in the healing process of like physical injuries. If you want to go that route too, like his ACL just re-snapping in the middle of training, like I just think this guy's not connected with himself, nor does he like have any desire to go be great again. And I think his body letting him down as he's recovering from a Achilles injury last year, again, as it snaps, it's like, yeah, man, this is your body telling you it's done. It's over. I like win or loss. I just don't think he cares. I don't think he has a competitive bone in his body anymore.
I mean, I think that press conference kind of shows that. Very defeated.
But it's not about it's personal.
Yeah, I just think he went into that press conference expecting people to like feel bad for him, and no one has that reaction.
Bro,
like
there's not a single
there's not a single person that saw that press conference like, man, I really feel for Deshaun. Like,
except Jameis
literally
Winston.
no one does. Well, yeah, I mean, a teammate of his,
Ugh. So he's a big whiner. I've got more winners and whiners for a little bit later on in the show. Those are the two big ones, though. But let's pivot back to the Detroit Tigers, whose entire season is on life support.
They're whiners.
They are whiners. Their entire season on life support. That's when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mint, 989-837-6125.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.
100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Just real quick, totally coincidental. The Browns just named Deshaun Watson their starting quarterback. Maybe his whining worked.
Maybe they were listening to this show and they were like, you want to see who the real whiner is.
Every Browns fan, if we were just doing winners and losers, the biggest loser in general would just be Browns fans right now who have to watch Deshaun Watson play football at least for 1 week. And
they would be, but they already are like big losers.
Now they're even bigger losers, though.
Yeah, the biggest.
There's no way that guy makes it through 17 games, though. Not a chance. Maybe this is next level thinking because it's like, hey man, whoever we throw out there, we just don't think. Eventually, they're getting booed off the field, so we may as well have it be Deshaun.
Who do they play week 1? If it's somebody really good, then
it's the Jags.
Okay, I mean that's a good team. So he goes out there, craps his pants against the Jags, and like, yeah, you know what? Never mind.
Then they can part ways with him. I also don't think he's someone you should just have on a roster lingering around. Like, I don't know what the money situation is in terms of waiving him, how much dead cap it ends up being. I think that might be a situation where it's like, you just need this guy out of the building. Like,
how can you name him the starting quarterback after that press conference? I can't believe that.
I don't know.
He essentially just gave up on the whole fan base. It's always a good guy to have as the quarterback of the team, you know? Guy that hates everybody.
There's just no way that guy survives an entire season without getting benched or getting injured.
Yeah.
There's no way. His body's going to quit on him, and when he does have like a devastating injury, the fans might cheer again. And you're never rooting for injuries, and I think that's still the case. If there's one single player in the NFL who deserves to have another horrible injury, it's probably Deshaun Watson, as terrible as that is to say.
Who starts more games?
I will still say Shedeur.
Probably. Yeah.
It might be big brain thinking of like, okay, we know Shedeur's going to suck, so like we're not going to go from Shedeur to Watson. We want to go from Watson to Shedeur. But I don't know, man. I just wouldn't want to employ that guy anymore. Anyway, that's a story for a different day. But the Detroit Tigers, they played tonight after getting swept by the Kansas City Royals over the weekend. Is this the new rock bottom? I mean, it's not like 14 games below 500 like they were in May. It's not 6-22 in May, but to have a playoff spot in your hand, you're grasping onto it for one singular day after beating Cleveland, and then to get swept by Chicago, and you lose another series, then you get swept by the White Sox, and you end up losing 8 of 9 games immediately following a series win against Cleveland and claiming into a playoff spot with not really a strong finish in sight. Like I have a really hard time believing that this team's going to find a way to rally the way that Dingler and Torkelson are both playing right now, and without Riley Green in the mix with 32 games left. Is this the new rock bottom? Because I think it's the most dead they've ever been in terms of the season. I do think maybe 6-22 is worse than what is currently happening, but I don't think a team has been closer to death, or the team has been closer to death than they are right now. They're laying on the deathbed in a coma. Yeah, I do.
I mean, they were literally like pronounced dead in May. You know, like I certainly do not think this is rock bottom. I mean, you were the one on the show last week who said, yeah, I know they just have been terrible last week, but this season it's a success. That can't mean they're dead then, right? Or can they be dead and it's still a success and those can coexist?
I think they can coexist to some degree. Like, you look at certain checkpoints throughout the season. It's like, okay, we think we still feel overall good about Dylan Dingler heading into next season. Riley Green, Kevin McGonigal, like, that's a guy I think we all believe is going to be a superstar. The other rookies have, I mean, Hao Yuli's hitting 400 over this stretch, guys. Over this 9-game stretch, one guy who you cannot blame, Hao Yuli. He's been great since June 1st has rolled around, like a truly great player. Eduardo Valencia has been good too, other than when he's behind the dish and is letting guys like Salvador Perez steal bases on you. The rookies have been good. So, like, there's certain points where it's like, okay, like this there was successes in this season, but right when the team needed to rally the most and stay strong, I mean, everything fell apart in the blink of an eye. Whether it's Dingler disappearing, Torkelson, doing classic Spencer Torkelson stuff, or Riley Green getting hurt. It's like the season vanished in the blink of an eye yet again, right when you started to peak and you got one game under 500 and felt like everything was about to come together and you were about to rally and finish strong, and then everything's gone immediately.
Yeah. I mean, it's this feels like it's the most dead just because we're at this point in the season. Like, it's the latest part of this season. I saw we had a YouTube chat earlier that I thought kind of described this whole scenario pretty well. Robert says, the McGonigal-Clark era looks good. The McGonigal-Clark season sucks.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not the full season of, like, that duo and the first full season of that era. I think next season would be. But, yes, this is kind of the weird standpoint of us looking at next year. Oh, next year. And I think it just is kind of difficult to do that when you were so close this year, when the guys that are going to be here next year are already here anyways. Like, it's not like it's going to be majorly different next season. At least we don't think so. And I think if you expect that, then you're probably falsely hoping that this front office is going to make some crazy moves again this offseason. So it's just simply when the moment got big, the lights got bright, this team faced any ounce of adversity after a month and a half, 2 months of being good, they crumpled back into their shallow self of where they were unable to do anything that entire month of May.
It's like anything similar to May, anything that possibly could have gone wrong went wrong over the past 9 games. Whether it's Dingler, Green, Torkelson. Like, if you said, hey, what are the 3 worst things that can happen right now? Okay, let's start with this. Riley Green gets hurt. Our MVP candidate goes 3 for 33 or whatever he is over the past 9 games. Like, just god-awful stuff. And then the one guy who's like backpacking the team right now against Cleveland, Torkelson, he's also going to disappear. Like, yeah, all those things are terrible. And the fact that they all happen at the exact same time does lead to a pretty instant death.
That is a recipe to go 1-7 or 1-8.
This isn't a slow burn death of a season. It almost felt like a gunshot wound where you just got sniped in the stomach and all of a sudden you are bleeding out at an incredibly fast rate. And unless you end up and at this point, heading into Monday, you are in the hospital, you are not conscious, you are in a coma, and the doctors are looking around like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if this team's gonna make it.
And it's at the point with Dylan Dingler where it's just like, how long is this gonna last?
Yeah, what the hell happens, dude?
Just as a reminder, like the last 12 games, he's hitting 0.63. Like, unbelievable stuff. 12 games.
Hitting 63. That's
3 hits.
It's impressive.
1 extra base hit.
Was that 3 for 48? Something like that?
Yeah, 3 for 48. He's drawn a couple walks. Great. I mean, the OPS is a 201.
It's unheard. And Spencer Torkelson's numbers are somehow worse.
But not as shocking. This is just kind of what Torkelson does. He's had 3 or 4 of those stretches this season.
Yeah, but with Riley out, they kind of needed Tork to step up, and he did against Cleveland in that series, and he had up until that point in the second half. And for him to simultaneously disappear, the heart of the lineup all of a sudden just becomes non-existent. And that's where you run into this team's just not going to score enough runs to win games or come through with runners in scoring position ever. And that's kind of been the story of the Tigers over the past.
Yeah.
And then the bullpen day yesterday where it's just like, this almost feels like a slap in the face to Tigers fans.
Let's have a bullpen day when the entire bullpen stinks.
Yeah, that felt like a slap in the face to Tigers fans. It's like, hey, we're on the verge of getting swept, and we're going to move everyone back a day. Troy Melton's not hurt, but he needs an extra day. What was that report?
No, that was not Melton. It was Kiter Montero and Framber Valdez, both of them.
What was that? Kiter's not hurt, but he didn't recover well from his last start, so we're going to give him an extra day. So he's hurt?
And he's also not getting, he's getting like an extended break from, he basically is just getting lapped in the rotation by everybody.
Oh, but he's not hurt. What do you mean he's not hurt?
Yeah, and then Framber Valdez start gets pushed back, so that's why you have the bullpen day yesterday. Okay, pretty rough. Yeah, Kiter Montero's not going to start until the Dodgers series. He's not going to start at all in this Rays series either. So who knows what's going on with that. But yeah, having a bullpen day when the number one issue that we've had, I mean, I know we just mentioned it, Dylan Dingler, Spencer Torkelson, and the Riley Green injury have all been major issues.
I mean, that's been the biggest issue and reason that they've been losing over the last 9 games.
But those are recent issues. One non-recent issue is the entire season issue of the bullpen.
Yeah.
And to have a bullpen day choosingly.
You didn't have to?
Just say that Montero's hurt.
But if that's the case, why did Framber not just start yesterday?
Right. I mean, they would have had to have had a bullpen day today, essentially. So
I just don't get it.
I guess you do it against Kansas City over Tampa. Sure, I guess I understand that. But also Kansas City has won 8 games in a row now. Like, this is, once again, let's add another thing into why the American League is so damn weird this year. Oh, one of the teams that has just been out of it for weeks and weeks. Yeah, they're going to win 8 games in a row.
They're probably too far back at this point, right?
I mean, yeah, but...
The Angels are hot, too. They've been, like, knocking off everybody.
Well, we need them to keep doing that because they play the Guardians this week.
Oh, we might have to retire scoreboard watching, my friend. We're like out of territory to care what other teams are doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we just have to win. Like, who
Yeah.
cares about what other teams are doing if we're losing? The issue is all these other teams are still losing. Like, we don't even have to, like,
No.
we're not sitting here crossing our fingers like, oh, I really hope all these other teams lose. No, they're just gonna. Because the whole league stinks.
There for sure is going to be a team that makes the playoffs that is not 500. Like, lock it in. There's going to be a final wild card team who is not 500. Guess what? That playoff team's probably going to win a series. Like, somehow that team's just going to win a series.
That's the worst
playoffs.
part about this whole thing is we're so like, oh man, the Tigers season, blah blah blah. But even if they avoid a sweep yesterday and they just win the game yesterday, they're ahead of Seattle, they're ahead of Baltimore, they're ahead of Minnesota. Like, because all those teams, like, oh, the Tigers got swept. Dang, Seattle, Baltimore, Minnesota, Toronto, all also lost yesterday. All these teams continue to lose. The Tigers just have to win. And now they're at a point where it's like they need to win at a rapid rate. I think most people are probably all set on the Tigers season. It helps that football is about to start, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, it's very difficult to even have any ounce of like, but you know.
Right now it's Texas who has that final wild card spot. Cleveland's tied with them. It feels like that final wild card spot. It's like hot potato. Like, who wants it? Who wants it? Nobody. Just keep passing it around.
Gary says, shut down Riley until next year. Use 3 roster spots to filter prospects up and September call-ups for the remainder of the year for weeks at a time to see what you have for next year.
This Brett Callahan guy, speaking of just like bringing young guys up, he cracks me up. I don't really know what it is, but like he'll strike out and take his helmet off and like march back to the dugout all mad. It's just like, aw. I don't exactly know what it is because there's like no expectation, but he's like the freshman that gets called up to JV at the end of the year, and he's just like has no role on the team, but is just kind of here, and he's all upset that he's striking out. It's really funny. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you sound like you're going at him.
No, I think it's funny. It's like really funny.
I like Callahan.
I like Callahan too. Yeah, I think Max Anderson's probably a guy to call up at some point the rest of the way, which because of the Rule 5. They're for sure going to end up doing.
Yeah, he's got to get on the 40-man at some point. We can get Corey Julks out of here. No offense.
He's got over 1,000 OPS over the past.
He hasn't
been one
bad.
of the more productive bats.
It's a good point. My bad.
Hey, we talk about having the home field advantage all the time. Well, if your home or business uses propane, the company with the advantage is Forward Energy. Since 1925, they've been serving our local community with propane and fuel solutions for homes and businesses. That's local people, reliable service. Forward Energy, part of the home team. 10 o'clock hour is brought to you by Aired Insurance. Aired Insurance are all about putting you in a better insurance position, whether it's your home, auto, life, or business coverage. They make sure your protection actually fits your life. If you're looking for a team that takes the guesswork out of insurance, this is it. Be sure to go follow Aired Insurance Group on social media to stay connected every single day and see how they're helping people along the way.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The... on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, we're going to start a new series this week. Well, I guess it's not a new series because it's around the league, although we've got something special for every day this week. We're doing division previews, so about, depending on the day, 1 or 2 divisions per day. We're going to start in an NFC division. Here we go, around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, Kyle, the division we are going to start with is going to be the NFC South. In other words, the quarterback crisis division. I have a bit for all of our division previews. It's called One Prayer and One Reality. One prayer that someone within the team or organization is making to somebody, and then the reality of the situation. Then we can go through and talk about who we think is going to win this division, over-unders on teams, built a spreadsheet to keep track of every single one of your and I's picks. John got invited into the document as well. So, lot to discuss.
Does John even know about it?
I sent it to him. TBD if he actually knows about it or not.
Yeah. What's better odds, that he knows or Tigers make the playoffs? Maybe Tigers make the playoffs.
Probably the Tigers to make the playoffs. Yeah, I don't know if he checks his email all that often. But here we go. Let's start with the NFC South, the quarterback crisis division. Here's my prayer. Please, Mr. Kevin Stefanski, don't screw up this quarterback decision throughout the course of the year. Please protect Tua for as long as you can. Maybe, just maybe, since he's in a dome all year, you can even let him remember how good he was every single September for those 2 years in Miami before all that trauma happened to his brain because of this violent sport. Thank you. Thank you for blessing him with Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Kyle Pitts, one of the best groups of weapons in the NFL. Anyway, once Michael Penix is ready, I hope you handle this well, Mr. Stefanski. Tua could honestly be a productive quarterback for only having a $1.2 million salary, but we have no loyalty to him. Forgive us for getting into bed with Tua for this season, but we can't marry him. That would be a horrific mistake. We need to see what we have in Michael Penix. Even if he's not good, at least we'll have an answer so we can move on entirely. Please, Mr. Stefanski, don't screw this up. And then the reality I have is, welcome to sports purgatory. You're 0-8-9. Tua's going to get off to a good start, then get hurt. Cooper Rush is going to start one game. Then Michael Penix is going to start 8. And then you're going back to Cooper Rush. You go all in for Baker Mayfield, and then he doesn't sign with you in the offseason.
Okay. I don't really know how to respond to that one.
I have one of those for every team.
No, that was good. My reaction to that would be, I don't think they can mess it up. Like, I would say Kevin Stefanski can't mess it up because it doesn't
he's
matter.
Never messed that up before.
It also just doesn't matter, though. Like, whether it's Michael Penix, whether it's Tua, does it? Oh, do I want the lefty that is not going to be able to comprehend thoughts by week 6, or do I want the lefty that will be operating on 2 prosthetic legs by the end of week 6? You know, like, I don't really think it matters. Cooper Rush is probably going to be the guy that ends up playing.
What's the worst case scenario? This team balls out, wins 7 games or wins 10 games, and Tua's kind of good and stays healthy, and then you're like, huh? Do we have to sign him?
How is that worst case though? I don't
then you
think
end
they're
up
giving
signing
Tua a long-term deal. There's just no I don't think
do
anything could happen. I also don't think even Tua would expect that. You know,
he'd be like, what?
Right? Yeah.
Like, I'm confused
What
again.
is that? I just think that there's no world where he plays so good where it's like, should we sign him to a multi-year extension? Maybe it would just be another 1-year deal.
But I'm not going to be shocked if he has a good September.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of does that for a large majority of his career. And he has decent weapons, and Atlanta is already starting the year off not healthy, but their offense at least seems to be relatively healthy up to this point. The schedule is not that terrible for them to start off the season. So, yeah, I mean, especially when they go Steelers-Panthers weeks 1 and 2, you could have a first good 2 weeks. Packers, it's not that bad. Who starts the most games this year, though? At quarterback.
I think it has to be
this
Michael
is the
Penix.
division that is, you really can't predict it, right? I know we just did it with Shedeur and Deshaun, but
I think it has to be Michael Penix. You have to go find out what you have in him, even if you know he sucks. You have to go solidify that so you can move on in the draft in a deep quarterback class, because you're not signing a long-term contract with Tua. So you have to go make sure you just cross the T and dot the I with Michael Penix.
I might have a completely opposite take.
You say Cooper Rush.
I think if you do let Michael Penix go, you are going to fall into the trap. You are going to fall
What trap?
The trap that he actually is not bad. Oh, we should maybe make him the quarterback of the future. He's also the most injury-prone quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, both of his ACLs have snapped.
You're never going to get out of this cycle. Oh, he's pretty good. Let's pay him. Oh, he's injured. Oh, but once he comes back, he gets injured again.
Has anything led us to believe that Michael Penix is pretty good, though, even when he's healthy?
But that's what I'm saying. Even if, let's say he plays, and then he plays pretty good. Is that not... I don't think that's a good thing. Because then you're going to get stuck in this cycle.
Think about what we're saying right now. We're saying whether it's Tua or Michael...
Both of them being good is bad.
Welcome to the Atlanta Falcons.
It's like
season.
in the Odyssey when all those dudes go up to the lady's little shack and she makes them the stew. Don't fall into the trap.
I don't know
Next
what
thing
the
you know,
best
you're
case
a
scenario
pig.
is for this. I don't know. And that's you're going to find a common theme with this across this division. Because the thing is, this is probably
I know the
the best
Panthers are about to say
roster.
the same thing, but
This is probably the best roster in the division.
yeah.
It's a good offense. It doesn't help that they're missing both of their edge rushers for the first 8 weeks of the season, one due to injury and one because of a suspension. That's ultimately the reason I am going to take this team's under.
Yeah, I'm also in on the under. 7.5 is their over/under win total. This team went 8-9 last year, and it took them going on a very weird win streak at the end of the season. I think they won 4 games in a row to end the year last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then it messed up the winner of this division at the end of the day. I just don't see them consistently putting together wins. There's too much. When there's 3 guys in a quarterback room that were like, he could start the most games this year. Going into the season, we're saying that. I can't do it. You're right in the fact that they could easily start 3-1.
Yeah.
And then we're all
they
looking
might
at
not
each other.
win another game.
Yeah, we're looking at each other like, wait, did we screw up on the Falcons? They also are dealing with injury/suspension stuff on their defense early as well. I don't think that bodes well for them. I'm on the under for Atlanta.
They also kept the same defensive coordinator, which I always think is kind of weird when a
Sure.
guy doesn't bring in his own DC.
Also, I don't think they'll be bad, though. I think this team they have a shockingly high floor for a team that I'm picking their under on. I don't see them losing less than 6 games. They're going to win either 6 or 7 games this year.
Yeah, we've never had any sort of Kevin Stefanski underperforming seasons in the NFL. All right, we're both taking the under there. That took a while to get through one team.
Yep, that's it. We got a lot of thoughts on NFL teams, man.
Okay, next up,
Yeah, let's hear your soliloquy for the next team.
the Carolina Panthers. Here's the prayer, one reality for every team. Please, Tedero McMillan, do everything you can to help out Bryce Young this season. To be quite honest, we have no idea if Bryce Young is even good at football, or if we remotely like him. We've had 46 games to figure it out, and yeah, I know he's 14-32 as a starter. Oh, shucks, maybe we do know his fate. But he's just a boy. He took us to the playoffs last season, and we were so close to beating the Rams. It's not his fault when the game was on the line. They went 4 and out and had 0 total yards when he was at the helm. Okay, fine. Maybe it was his fault a little bit. I don't even know what he'd do with all that money if we gave it to him. That'd be such a mistake. Help Bryce Young, Tedero McMillan. But what does help even look like? Ah! And then the reality is you're in the middle of a quarterback crisis, and there's no way to win this season. You're not a Super Bowl contender. You might win the division, which is hardly an accomplishment. Bryce Young plays well. You're stuck in a relationship with him. If he sucks, I guess that would also not be good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. This is actually the one team I think in the entire NFL that it feels the most realistic, where if this guy is good, it's bad. But it's such a...
Can you think of a worse team to be a fan of right now? I don't even know what I'd be rooting for.
I can think of one. How about the Cleveland Browns, who we were just talking about?
I don't even know what I'm rooting for if I'm a fan of the Panthers.
I know,
though.
because that's the difficult part, because they made the playoffs last year. So you obviously...
With a losing record.
But they obviously know that they can do it again. You know, it's not like they're tricking themselves into some if Bryce Young is really good. It's like, no, he was good enough to lead them to winning their division last year.
Yeah.
So that could easily happen again. And they made a lot of improvements in the offseason. They were probably the sneaky winners of free agency, at least. They signed a lot of really high quality players.
Yeah.
Devin Lloyd being the headliner of that. And so to me, I think Bryce Young being good, they pay him. And that just sounds like a nightmare. I just don't know what kind of contract he would get. But
14 and 32 as a starter.
I mean, there was talks about them getting rid of him all up until halfway through last year.
Mm-hmm.
And now
they
he's just
started
been good
winning
enough.
games.
So it's a very just weird situation there. But I think you would still rather him be good and your team make the playoffs, right? And then you deal with it later. It's got to be one of those types of scenarios.
And I think the way that happens is Tedero McMillan just kind of becomes one of the alpha receivers across the league. That's why the prayer was directed to him, for him to protect Bryce Young, because I think he can be a safety target. Like, if Tedero does become one of the 12, this is one of the 12 best receivers in the NFL, that's going to go a long way for Bryce Young getting paid.
I also just don't, like, what does a Bryce Young ceiling look like? Has it already happened?
Probably.
Will he ever peak what Kyler Murray was? I don't think so, right?
Probably. He's not the athlete Kyler was.
Exactly. Like, at least like Kyler obviously is so many, but he has a lot of other traits that make him at least fine enough that Bryce Young just doesn't have.
Yeah, Kyler could like evade pressure at an exceptional rate.
Kyler is just bigger too. Like, he's quicker, he's girthier, like he's got it. He has a lot over Bryce Young.
He's got the baseball thing where he can avoid the the big hits by sliding. Bryce Young doesn't really have that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm taking with all that being said, I'm taking the over on this team.
You're over on them, really?
Somebody has to win games in this division, and I don't think it's going to be the Falcons. So I don't want to spoil the rest of the teams, but I do think this roster, like you said, has made a bunch of upgrades in free agency. I think the defense last year wasn't a pushover team. They played their best games against the best teams, and then they played down against the worst ones last year. I think if that just kind of steadies out and they can start to beat up on the bad teams, this can be an 8 or 9 win team and threaten to win the division again.
I can see it.
And I do kind of believe that Tedero is that guy.
I think I'm just going to bank on this division is going to be pretty bad, and they're all going to beat up on each other and just lose to all the other divisions once again. I'm going under on the Panthers. I could also see them being the worst team in this division. Like, if I had
the first place schedule.
If I'm picking a team to be last, I'm picking Carolina. First place schedule. Last year was pretty fluky. I like Dave Canales, but not enough where I'm like, oh, he's an elite floor raiser. They're not going to be bad this season, so I'm going under.
All right, next team. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here's the prayer. Dear Jason Light. I'm going to call him Jason Light. Dear Jason Light, Bucs GM. When Baker Mayfield inevitably balls out this year, please don't hesitate to give him a contract. I don't care if we part ways with Todd Bowles. Feels like you really want to do that. But please, not Baker too. If we don't sign him this season, he'll be the most sought-after quarterback next year in free agency, and we'll have no chance to retain him. Why move on? Sam Darnold just won a Super Bowl. You think Baker can't? I can't even stomach the thought of him on the Steelers or the Texans. What if Atlanta swoops in? Please, Mr. Light, give Baker Mayfield a contract extension, whatever he wants. Just give it to him. And then the reality is, Baker's for sure not playing for Tampa Bay next year. Doesn't it feel like anything short of a postseason run? This team is just blowing it up. If Baker is going to get signed during the season, it's got to be because Emeka Egbuka has been his best friend.
I like that.
Quarterback
Baker,
crisis division, man.
It is a quarterback crisis division, Baker being the best one here, but also I think Baker is handling this a lot better than most would. You know, he said, hey, I'm setting a date. If I don't have an extension by that time, we're done talking about it. We just got to focus on the season. That's an adult thing to do, you know, and then they didn't figure it out. So now, but he is kind of throwing shots at the front office as much as he can.
But there's a number that they can put on the table that, like,
Well, he's not, but they're not negotiating anymore. Like, he's not doing negotiations with them.
I know, but if the GM reaches out to his agent and is like, hey, whatever that number is, like, we'll give it to you plus this.
But why wouldn't that have just already happened, you know?
Because Baker could be playing really well, like the first 4 weeks.
Isn't that what Baker always does? You know, we remember Baker the first, 8 weeks of the year last year?
It's like a borderline MVP candidate.
We were talking about him to win the MVP, and then Tampa was really bad to end the season.
They went
and
1-7.
Baker fell off. I certainly wouldn't say it was his fault, but he had a much worse second half than first half.
Might have been playing hurt.
This is such a tough team to pick because I really feel like it's the most overplayed coaching staff in the league. It's like, okay, it's probably time for them to move off of Todd Bowles at this point. It's probably time for a refresh at a lot of different things. They obviously reset with letting Mike Evans go, which is a huge thing. Chris Godwin's still there, but it feels like they are due for just some sort of a retooling. Yet I think I'm just gonna pick them to be the best team in the division again.
Yeah.
You know, like
They got the best quarterback.
They didn't win it last year, so it feels like they're due to win it this season.
They probably don't have the best set of weapons, but it's not bad.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Depending on what you get from Emeka Ibuka this season, because he had like 2 halves of last year where he was incredible in the first half.
Still
and
have Godwin,
non-existent.
Jalen McMillan is back from injury. Like, definitely a solid. Bucky Irving, a pretty good running back. You still have a fine offensive line. It was bad last season, but I think when healthy, it'll be better this year. Their defense is pretty up in the air. That's the one thing about them. I have no idea how good their defense is going to be. I think I like Tampa, though. Their over-under's 8.5.
I'm taking the over.
I think I'm taking the over as well. A lot of people are taking their under. The over has juice, so that's a little bit concerning, but I'm taking the over. I think the Bucs win this division.
Oh, you're spoiling the division winner.
I'm just saying, I think they win the division.
Last team that we have, the New Orleans Saints. Here's my prayer. Hey, Drew, is in Drew Brees. It's been a while, and we have not forgotten. I still think about you all the time, even though we don't talk as much. It's been a rough couple years between Derek Carr and Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton and Taysom Hill. I can't afford to be teased. Please let Tyler Shook be that guy. I know he graded out as one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL last year under pressure and couldn't throw a deep ball to save his life. But he played pretty good in the short game. I just hope Kellen Moore knows what he's doing. Shook doesn't have to be the biggest or strongest. You weren't, Drew. But if you can hear me, please bless Tyler Shook with the ability to lead us out of this hell that we've been living in since you retired. And then the reality is, the injury-prone receiver you drafted is already hurt, and Tyler Shook's honeymoon phase is over. You ended the season 4-1, but you beat the Titans, Jets, Panthers, Bucks. Nothing impressive. Lions are stomping this team's door in week 1. Apparently Spencer Rattler's had a much more steady arm in camp, which is never a great sign. I believe this team has an ultimately disappointing season after a lot of preseason hype heading into the year. I just don't think they made enough upgrades over the course of the offseason to take a legitimate leap, and their rookie receiver's already hurt.
Yeah, the rookie receiver already being hurt is pretty tough. I like the Saints. I think I'm buying some Saints hype. I think their weapons group is pretty underrated. Obviously, Tyson being out is pretty bad, but that was also a little bit, kind of knew that was going to happen at some point. Alvin Kamara, is he just going to retire? Have you heard this?
I know he's hurt. I didn't know he was going to retire.
He's hurt, and there's like buzz that he might just call it a career now that he is hurt, which that would kind of be sad. But obviously, Travis Achan, I think we're calling him, is
ETN.
there.
I'm calling him ETN.
He's there, so I think that was a pretty good pickup. Their defense was sneaky good in the back half of the season last year, and it still has some vets on it. Cam Jordan, of course, being like the headliner that returned to the Saints this past season.
Yeah, but like it is old guy. Like they still have like Carl Granderson in there too. Like this is an old team on defense that lacks any real stars.
It is.
That's what concerns me.
I think like the main prayer for this team is Kellen Moore and Tyler Shook the next like fun young quarterback coach duo?
And I just don't think there's enough evidence for me to say yes at
like
this point.
Andy Reid is older than the both of them combined. Of Kellen Moore and Tyler Shook. Like they are young dudes. And so I mean Shook is kind of old, I guess, for being a second-year quarterback, but still, like the fact that they have the young coach, quarterback, play caller, you know, it gives like freshman version of Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, you know, middle school version of that. Can they upgrade to the JV version? Can they be anything? Because if that even turns out to be like wow, Kellen Moore is like a pretty young, up-and-coming head coach. Oh, wow, Tyler Shook is a pretty underrated quarterback. If those things happen, and we're saying that by the middle of the year, I think that means the Saints are at least above 500, right?
They might be hovering above that. Their over-under is 7.5. Look, man, when you put them head-to-head against a lot of the other NFC's teams, they lack the blue-chip guys. Like, they don't really have a single blue-chip. Chris Olave is probably their best player, and that's probably not a good sign.
True.
So I'm ultimately going to take the under on this thing. I think Tyler Shook will be in the NFL a long time. Whether or not he's a starter for his entire career, I think is still kind of up in the air.
I can't decide that either. Like, most likely guy to be their starting quarterback next season in this division is Tyler Shook. Right? Out of all the quarterbacks in this whole division.
I don't know. You could probably make a case for 3 of them.
Most likely guy to be the starter next year for the same team.
I'd probably
think
say
Shook
Bryce.
is one.
I would go Bryce.
I guess I could. Yeah, I can get behind that.
It's the quarterback crisis division, man. I don't think any single one
it
of these
is.
teams knows who their quarterback is going to be with certainty next season.
I'm taking the Saints over. I am really for no reason feel good about the Saints. I think they go
that's a good
9. I think they go 9-8. I think they smash their over by 2 games. They're above 500 this season.
I'm going under. I think they regress. Well, they had 6 wins last year, so I guess they could still win 7 games and it'd be fine. Nothing has screams off the TV for me with Shook to make me think that this is
Totally.
something to hang your hat on. So I went under on the Falcons, over on the Panthers, over on the Bucks, under on the Saints. You went under on the Falcons, under on the Panthers, over on the Bucks, over on the Saints. Our division winners both happen to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I almost picked the Saints. I was like, I can't get aggressive early. I can't go too crazy early. This division though is kind of the one to do it.
Yeah, you may. I mean, yeah, this is if you want to pick an upset division.
Yeah, I mean,
this is kind of the one. But
it's
we both
also
went
the
with
division.
the favorite.
It's the division that the fourth place team has the shortest odds. Like any team could really win this division, but I'm going safe, rocking with the Bucks.
There we go. That's the quarterback crisis division. We'll continue one prayer and one reality. Division previews for every team tomorrow. Maybe we'll fit 2 divisions in tomorrow. I think that's kind of going to be how the math works on this one. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitts. More when we come back on this Tigers season that is falling apart right in front of our eyes. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. I was going to pull one more thing. Yeah, there it is. Dow, proudly rooted in Midland, making an impact all around the world. Innovations that create cleaner solutions for water, safer homes, more sustainable futures. Company built on science but driven by people with thousands of employees who call this community home. Supporting local schools, events, and nonprofits because being a good neighbor matters. From the lab to the Little League field, Dow is invested in the places we live, work, and play. Dow, solving with science, but standing with community.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show. Kyle, I like the division previews. I'm excited to do that every day this week. And then by the end of the week, and we have all of them figured out, maybe we put a little something on the line for who has more over-unders plus division picks correctly.
Wow.
We'll have
On
to think
top
of something.
Spread picks, too.
I know.
Pretty
That's like its
good.
own bragging rights.
Because then I'm going to be basing my spread picks based off of my over-unders.
To zag on it?
Or to double
or TBD.
down.
Who won spread picks last year? I don't remember.
I think I did because I usually win all that kind of stuff.
Oh, right. My bad. I forgot.
No, I actually have no idea who won spread picks last year. I think it came down to the wire. Actually, I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah. I want to see who won. Because
Because
it did for sure come down to the wire.
it did.
And I think we were all below 500
Conference
by the end of the year.
championship weekend going into it, I had the best record. I was 54-60. You were 52-62. So I believe I won.
Yeah.
Unless I lost, but no, we had the same pick. So I think I won, barely over you. Oh, yeah, that's right, because John was so bad.
Yeah.
John
right.
went 49-62-1. I mean, we all went below 500, so
That's not good.
we were all pretty bad, but John was super bad.
Like the movie.
Yep.
Okay, let's do a little bit more winners and whiners here before we jump back into the Tigers and Lions conversations.
It's time for Winners and Whiners.
Winner, chicken dinner.
So we already went over why Deshaun Watson's the biggest whiner, although he might have to just get moved to the winners category because somehow the whining turned him into a starting NFL
True.
quarterback.
He changed in the middle of the show.
It's the first time ever.
From winner to whiner within a half hour. That's pretty good.
Really within like 5 minutes. We did the segment like 10 seconds later when we went to break. Todd Monken was like, hey, we're actually going to start the guy who claimed that.
So Shador is a whiner, I guess.
I don't think Shador has done
or
anything
just
wrong.
the Browns fans are whiners. I don't really know.
No, the Browns fans are just losers. I feel bad for them.
Poor guys.
But
But the Browns fans are also Guardians fans, so like could
Just
care
screw
less
'em.
about them. Yeah.
right. The other big time winner was the Cowboys rookie Shiaz Pete, who had the best. I think I will call it the best preseason post-game speech of all time. I'll go out on a limb and say that.
Ever better than the Panay Sewell one?
But I can't remember a preseason post-game speech that Panay Sewell's
Sure,
ever done.
yeah, you can title it that because I don't think anyone's gonna have any competition for you.
Okay, more winners. I have Kyle's league mate who drafted Genty in the 8th round yesterday, as we all thought Genty's knee exploded.
Dude, this was. I was already been texting this whole morning with my league about it. One of the more craziest events that I think probably the craziest draft day experience / event that has ever happened in the history of me playing fantasy football.
Is this the equivalent of Laramie Tunsil, like within 24 hours of the draft, smoking out of a gas mask? Like, what do we do
For
with
real,
this guy?
it was like it felt that way in fantasy football terms. That's a really good point. Our draft last night is at 6:00, and it's at 7:00. This Ashton Genty news comes at 5:30, 5:45, 90 minutes before the draft. We get the notification Ashton Genty was carted out of practice, and then it's like, oh man, like we saw that, and everyone's like, oh, that's not good. He might fall a little bit in our draft, and then it just gets worse. Oh, they ended practice early. Everybody got on a knee and said a prayer for him. It's like, did this guy die at practice? Like
the prayers were answered, Kyle.
everybody on the Twitter doctors were going crazy. It was all signs were pointing to a torn ACL. And Ashton Genty, who is ADP, like right early 2nd round pick this year, fell to the 8th round in our draft. And it was chaos. It was just mass chaos. We do 90-second picks. I think every single person took all 90 seconds every single time. Just in the whole room, we are sitting here looking at each other like,
What do we do with this guy?
what do we do? What is someone going to take Genty? It screwed up the whole 2nd round because everybody, of course, went a slot early.
This is
So the
also
guys
why
who
you should wait as long as possible to do
For sure.
redrafts.
For sure. Everyone thought the RBs, like guys who thought they were going to get RBs at the end of the 2nd round didn't because everybody got moved up a slot. Anyways, Genty ends up going 8-01 to the guy in our league that dominates our league. He won it last year. He gets him, and he takes the risk, and then you get the notification at 11 o'clock last night that he sprained his ankle.
Yeah, high ankle sprain. I mean, like, obviously,
He
like,
sprained his
not a
ankle,
torn
and they did
ACL.
a circle prayer for him.
Oh, come on. You can't knock guys praying that he's going to be okay.
Y'all didn't pray for me when I sprained my ankle in our men's league last year.
You didn't have to get carted off the court.
Yeah, I stayed in the game.
Yeah, the high ankle sprains are something that can wreck a season, though. They are. But
you know what else kind of torn ACL, which was everybody thought what it was.
Who's everybody?
This guy's a
Twitter doctors.
A sprained ankle, man. A sprained ankle, and we are ending practice.
Let's keep NBA players out like 6 weeks.
Oh my goodness! This is my boomer take. This is the softest thing I've ever heard.
You're right. It is a boomer take.
It's and
the high ankle sprains are really tricky, man. Those keep players out a long time.
We're gonna say a prayer for the guy that twisted his ankle. Come on, man. That's like a disrespect to prayers.
No, you actually might be a whiner.
Overuse.
You're like creeping in a whiner cagory right now.
I am a whiner,
you're just
man,
mad
because
you
the
didn't
best
get
guy in
Genty.
the league. And you want to know why I'm extra mad? Because I reached on Mike Washington Jr., who's the backup for the Raiders. So, because my whole plan was, I was in the territory when he took Genty. I was in the range of like, okay, I think I'm willing to do it now. I was like, I think I would be willing to do it. But when he did, I was like, you know what? That's fine. But I was only going to do it if I could also draft the Mike Washington guy, their rookie running back. So I took him in the 9th round. And now that's probably just going to be a bad pick. Unless,
waste of a pick.
Genty's probably going to be out for a couple weeks at least, I would assume. So
I think he will be.
Maybe Washington could be something valid for the first couple weeks. But yeah, I certainly, it was just one of the more chaotic things that has ever happened. And as it was happening, I was just like, this is unbelievable. You're right. This feels like draft night in the NFL, like something breaking news happening as the draft is going down.
It's like, oh, shoot, one of the Georgia players got caught going 130 miles per hour down the highway actually in a school zone within 24, driving to the draft. It's like, oh, what? What do we do with this guy? Do we draft him or not?
What do we do? Like, because at first when this news broke, I was like, oh, he's probably going to fall to like the 3rd round. And then it was like, everyone's looking at me like, the 3rd round? Like, I'm not touching him until the 10th round. And I'm like, seriously? I'll take him.
I in my head, I wasn't in the situation, so it's easy for me to just say in hindsight. I feel like I would have taken him in the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah, it's just the amount of Twitter refreshing I did last night during the draft.
That probably worsened your perspective on it.
It did, because it was all negative. It was all everybody being, oh,
that's the way it always is.
Oh, no.
It's like when you Google, like, I have a headache. What's wrong?
Yeah,
and Google's like, you're going to die. Yeah.
You're going to die in 10 minutes. Yeah. That's a good point. Luke is saying ankle sprain is the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. In Ashton's defense,
I think
thanks, Lucas.
The first time I sprained my ankle, it for sure was the worst pain I've ever felt. Now I feel like I sprained my ankle like twice a year, and I'm like, it's just fine now.
Yeah.
Anyway, next one. Justin Verlander, I feel like has to either be a winner or whiner, and I don't really know where to put him. He hasn't said anything in like months, so I don't think he can be a whiner.
So why do you have to put him on either or?
I just wanted to talk about Justin Verlander. That's what winners and whiners is, just an excuse to talk about people.
Okay.
This guy just gets to sit in the dugout, and basically as a season ticket gets to hang out with all the Tigers and do nothing. There's no rehab starts.
Yeah, as they desperately need another guy.
There's no bullpen sessions. There's nothing. There's nothing going on with Justin. He just gets to hang out all day long, every day with the Tigers team. I think he's just a winner for that.
He's got to be a winner for that. Yeah, and he's not taking any of the flack for this season, really. Which I'm not saying he deserves it, but if he was pitching and not pitching good, we certainly would be like, oh, Verlander, you know?
I threw this out on X the Everything app yesterday. It did pretty good.
It doesn't have everything because it tells you the wrong Ashton Genty news.
No, it has everything. It has fake Ashton Genty news.
That's true.
I said, I'll be telling my grandchildren about the season. Justin Verlander came back home to chase one final ring and ended up throwing 3 total innings while his team missed the playoffs entirely. Yeah, that's this season.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
One more whiner. Great WNBA game last night between, it was the Sky and the Fever, right? So then Caitlin Clark drops 37 and 10. It's this incredible, wow, Caitlin Clark's kind of asserting herself into MVP territory. Her arrival is here. This is great for the league. And then it just completely gets thrown out the window because the only thing that people can talk about today is the fact that Enes Kanter and one of the members of the Sky got into it, and he got thrown out of the game because, for those who don't know, he's trying to join the WNBA. Has there ever been a guy who's just like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cause problems.
I'm going to make this all about me.
Yeah, dude, just Get out of here. Like,
I don't think
I get the WNBA has a lot of political things going on right now, which is ultimately not good for the league. It should be about the basketball, and we're probably falling into the trap of talking about this kind of stuff rather than the basketball. This guy's just looking to cause problems. That's all it
he's
is.
just world's #1 biggest loser.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. All right, 989-837-6125. More on the Tigers and the Lions pass rush, which is turning a lot of eyeballs when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mix.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Happy Monday. Welcome back into the 11 o'clock hour of this show, brought to you by Yider Insurance. Tigers, they got swept this weekend. Do we think this season is done? They're 3.5 out. They have 32 games left. The math says they're still alive in this thing. However, the math doesn't consider that Dylan Dingler is a dead guy. Spencer Torkelson is hitting like 43 in the last 9 games. Riley Green is nowhere to be found. There's just not a lot that you can point to right now, even though the math says they're still alive. There's almost nothing I can point to and be like, I think they're actually going to get this thing done. I think the season's essentially over. They're in a coma. They're on their deathbed. The doctors are currently in the waiting room telling the family, like, hey man, I don't know if this team's gonna wake up. It might be time to pull the plug on them. And then of course we say all that today, and they're gonna end up taking 2 of 3 against Tampa and convince us all that they're still alive.
But that's the thing. Like, they could take 2 of 3 against Tampa and be right back into this. That's why they're not out of it yet. But just based off of what we are seeing, and like you say, well, the math says they're still in it. Does it? The number says they're still in it. I would say the math is very against them, because the math is actually taking into consideration all of the other teams. Like if I just told you right now, it's August 24th, and the Tigers are 3.5 games out of a playoff spot. That's all I told you. What would you say the playoff percentage for that team is? Like not
18,
the worst.
18?
Yeah, 20. I was going to say 20%, maybe 25%. You're only 3.5 games out of a playoff spot with over a month of baseball left. You certainly have a chance. You wouldn't say 5% because it's not even that. It's below 5% right now. The math actually is putting in all of the 6 teams that are wedged between them and that final wild card spot.
Which was always
it's
the
just
case.
The number.
Like,
the 3.5 number is the part that fools you.
Even earlier this summer, this was always such an illusion that they were in the wild card race because of how many teams they had to pass. And then guess what? They passed all the teams. They passed every team and claimed the final wild card berth. What was that? It was the day the Cleveland series ended. It would have been a week, last Thursday. And since then, they're 1-8. 1-8. Dingler's like 3 for 48. Torkelson's like 1 for 33. And Riley Green's on IL. Like I'm sorry, Kyle. Even though the number says 3.5 and they still have 32 games left, their team's not good enough right now to win enough games to make the wild card spot. And the final wild card spot, it's likely going to be a team below 500. And I don't even think they're good enough to claim that spot the way that they're playing right now. Them figuring it out over the next 32 would require Dylan Dingler to wake up from the coma that he currently is living in and Riley Green to be healthy today, which doesn't seem likely. Kevin McGonigal to continue to play like the best rookie we've had since Mike Trout. I guess that's possible. But even if it is, they just don't have a middle of the lineup that you can trust to drive in runs right now at all.
Yeah. On top of, their bullpen is still really bad, and the starting pitching is not healthy, so much fact that they have a bullpen day slotted into their rotation right now with Drew Anderson Day still existing. That's not great. And this guy deserves no blame. But it certainly doesn't help that your ace in Troy Melton has had his 2, quote-unquote worst starts in a while.
Sure,
I don't really want to
throw him under the bus.
But I'm saying he doesn't deserve any blame, but he hasn't gone deep into either of the last 2 games. He went 4 1/3 and 5 2/3. Like, this is a guy that has consistently gone 6-7 innings for the Tigers for a while now. And so having the bullpen come in early, even on the Melton days, certainly doesn't help. Like I said, I'm not blaming him, but is it any coincidence that the Tigers have lost his last 2 starts?
No.
When they had won, you know how many Melton starts they had won in a row leading up to that point?
Like 9?
7.
7?
7 Melton starts in a row.
He was like 11-2 at one point.
Yeah. I mean, he was 11-2 going into the last 2, and now he's lost 2 straight.
Yeah, but between that, not trusting anybody in the bullpen, Framber Valdez being like still just, you never really know what version of him you're going to get. Even the best version is not been all that great. Yeah, I don't think there's a good enough reason to be like, yeah, I still think that this team can make the playoffs. and as soon as, this has been the thing with this Tigers team for the last 3 years. Every time you say that, they just do the Undertaker, sit up and stare at you right in the eye. It's like, oh my God, they somehow survived death. And that's exactly what they've done for the last 3 years. 2 years ago would have been a crazier comeback, the 0.2% chance to make the playoffs. That would have been way crazier than what they have going on right now. That was way crazy. If they made the playoffs, it'd be less shocking than it was 2 years ago. And for that reason, it's hard to just be like, yeah, they're totally done, because they've done it the past 2 seasons. At least they did it 2 years ago is what I'm trying to say. But I just don't think you get to have 2 miracles in 3 years in terms of rallying late to make the playoffs. It just doesn't really happen. Yet the AL Central is just one of those divisions where weird stuff happens at the end of the year. This is kind of the,
I don't know, though.
You know how 3:30's like the witching hour on Sundays in the NFL? We're kind of entering the witching hour of the AL Central.
And yet the same team has led the division the whole time.
Yeah.
Which was the case last year too, so I guess that's kind of fair. But I don't know. I just don't really see a world where it's going to be via the wild card if anything happens for not just the Tigers, but for the Twins and the Guardians as well.
How many games out are the Twins?
I think the Guardians are
the Guardians.
Guardians are 3.5 back of Chicago right now.
And I'm sure
despite
they have
winning
another
4
head-to-head.
straight. Yeah, I would assume that they do. So, like, yeah, it certainly could happen, and honestly, it probably is just safe to say it will based off of the history of this division. But
Yeah, they've got another head-to-head at home later on in the year.
yeah.
Are you willing to come to bat for them at all right now and say that you still think their playoff hopes are alive? Are you willing to tell the doctors to not pull the plug yet?
Sure. I mean, I don't personally believe it, but like I said, the number is still the number. It's still 3.5 when there are plenty of games left. So I'm not gonna like sit here and hope that it's gonna happen.
No.
I think
No, of course
as mentioned earlier, it's nice that football season is about to start because you just don't really have to. Okay, the Tigers, whatever. You know, the team is doing whatever. At least we got the Lions coming up. So
It's genuinely torture what this Tigers team does to their fans every single year. The rope-a-dope, like, hey, half the year, we're going to be the best team in baseball. But the other half, we suck.
and like you just got swept by the Royals.
I know.
I know they're hot right now. Sure, I get it. Come on, man. The Royals, Carson saying the most Tigers thing ever would be to go 4-2 against LA and Tampa.
I know.
Yeah.
And then they're going to rope us all back into this, and we're going to be like, ah!
Exactly. We're going to be next Monday. We're going to come into the show and be like, wait, are they back?
Yeah, it's like, forget the Lions. The Tigers are a playoff team again. Because here's the thing. Every other team is going to leave the door open. Whether it's the Rangers, the Guardians, the Twins, Orioles, none of those teams are going to go shut the door on the final wildcard spot. Not a single one of them will do it.
None of them seem to want to.
Nobody wants it. That door will remain open until the very end of the season. I don't think the Tigers will officially be... I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they'll officially be eliminated from that playoff race until like there are 4 games left in the season. That is how bad this final wildcard team is going to be, that nobody can go claim it.
Yeah, you're probably right. Luke saying the bullpen is not playoff worthy. Let's face it. I don't even know if their starters are either. With Hinch leading this team, forget about it.
Yeah, man, the Hinch stuff is really starting to add up. There's starting to be an overwhelming amount of evidence that this guy's managing of the bullpen is hurting the Tigers more than it's helping them. He doesn't pitch guys on back-to-back days. They do that less than any other team in the league. But because of that, he pushes them to their absolute maximum, meaning they'll come in relief, they'll finish the inning, and then he'll throw them back out there. And that's usually when the disaster strikes, where most teams, they don't typically have bullpen arms go more than one additional inning or closing an inning. And if those guys do have a player that's doing that, it's like one designated guy. The Tigers will do it with anybody. They'll bring a guy in to close out the 6th, then they'll throw him back out there and expect him to finish the 7th. And usually that's where the disaster happens for the Tigers. All these statistics and models that measure a manager's impact, they all have AJ Hinch right towards the bottom, man. And I'm not exactly sure how those are calculated and what formula is used, but none of them favor AJ Hinch this year at all. Lives and dies by the platoon more than anything in the bullpen. There's been multiple occasions this year where he pitches a guy 4 or 5 times in a single week, and usually in that 5th appearance, it is just an absolute implosion, disaster. There's a reason all these leads are blown at the end of the game, and I don't think it's because every single one of the individual arms in the bullpen is terrible. I'm not telling you they're good, but I think a lot of it has to do with the AJ Hinch, how he's handling the bullpen and how he's managing these games, and you're starting to finally see that.
Yeah, and I think, you talk about how he lives and dies by not just the platoon, but
X's and O's.
Just a lot of his philosophies. Yeah, which, I mean, every coach does, but his are just very polarizing to the fan base, whether it works or it's not. It's like Dan Campbell going for it on 4th down.
I was going to say it's the opposite. Like, Dan Campbell doesn't really care what the advanced analytics say. He has the confidence that his guys are going to be able to pick up this 4th down, and that's why he does it.
I mean, that's not really what I'm not really just talking about the analytics. I'm just saying the fact that he's married to his own philosophies.
I see what you mean.
And the fan base is always going to have a certain way, but if it works, oh, this guy's a great manager. Last year, AJ Hinch. Wow. AJ Hinch could be the manager of the year, this and that. 2 years ago, look at all the big-time decisions he made with pitching by chaos, and, Andy Ibanez platooning, Jahmai Jones, all these other guys. We were applauding AJ Hinch for all of those decisions he made the last 2 seasons. This year, they're not working out, and so we hate him. And it'd be very similar if the Lions just all of a sudden stunk on 4th down, like they kind of did in the back half of last year. then we'd be starting to question all of that. So the second that it starts to not work out for you, it becomes an issue. Unfortunately, a lot of those things, for a really large sample now, basically the entire season, have not worked out for Hinch.
Yeah. So people like here's the thing, Kyle. I'd probably be good on AJ Hinch. Like if the Tigers did decide to part ways with him, or if it was like this mutual thing, I'd be fine with it. That's for sure not going to happen though. AJ Hinch will be the manager of this team when Kevin McGonigal's 29 years old. The way that Chris Ilitch operates things, there's not a whiff of any thought of him being fired.
But I also
don't think there will be.
But does there need to be? Take that, throw that out of the window. Throw the Chris Ilitch stuff out of here. Do you think AJ Hinch should be the Tigers manager?
Not really. Not really.
Not really.
Yeah, no. Look, man, I think when you go into the year with World Series aspirations and you have all of these, like, you blow as many games as you did after, the Tigers have more leads after 6 innings than any other team in baseball besides the Dodgers. Like, there's got to be some managerial stuff behind that.
Yeah.
Between that, all the blown leads, which kind of go hand in hand, this live and die by the analytics mindset, the fact that they did go 6-22 in May and just like fell short of all expectations. I think I'm good on AJ Hinch and wouldn't mind a different mindset coming into next season and really like fully going new mantra, new regime under the first like Kevin McGonigal, Max Clark era of the Tigers. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think there's like one specific thing where it's like that was a fireable offense. But I do think if we're just turning the page like we've talked about so many times, like, hey, we're moving off of the Scooble era, we're getting into this McGonigal, Dylan Dingler, Kevin, Max Clark. If we're just going to do all that and really turn the page and move on to this new era of the Tigers, I think I'm fine with having a new manager in there as well. It's almost useless to talk about because it's not going to happen.
Sure. I mean, Ilitch isn't the one that makes that decision.
He's part of it.
I mean, he doesn't make the decision. Like, the owner of the team doesn't fire the manager.
I mean, if Ilitch wanted him gone, he would be gone. It's not like he has no say in it, though, But, like, what we know about Chris Ilitch is he's going to sit on his hands and let the people in charge do.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't. He like. I think he has zero input on the decision because he doesn't care about it. He's not going to make one. This is a Scott Harris decision, and if it's up to Scott Harris, I also think he would not get fired.
Yeah, I'd probably not. 989-837-6125. More on the Lions' pass rush and the propaganda behind it. Is it a problem going into the season for everybody else, or is it just propaganda the way that this pass rush has been performing? It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9. The show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. The 11 o'clock hour is brought to you by Yiter Insurance. Life happens fast, and at Yiter Insurance Group, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yiter is the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. That's Yiter Insurance Group. We'll be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mix. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
If there's one big winner from the Lions preseason game against the Commanders, I would say it's a combination of all the pass rush guys. Whether you want it to be Derek Moore, the rookie who had a sack and probably should have had two. One got called back. I'm not sure if it would have been ruled one. He kind of just threw his offensive tackle into Jaden Daniels. Living in the backfield, though, whether it's him, DJ Woonham, who had a nice sack where he won pretty easily on his one-on-ones, and then Skylar Gill Howard, this 6th-round pick who is for sure going to, he broke down the team and the defensive line heading into the game. Shows you some leadership skills there, has this pass rush juice where he's also a guy who's living in the backfield, could be a guy who plays a lot on 3rd and longs. The Lions seem to really like him. Those three guys in general, and then even Levi Woons-Rique had a good game. McNeil and Hutchinson didn't play, but there's some real reason to believe in this pass rush specifically with this defensive line. I think that was the biggest winner from Saturday's game. And then even dating back to the first preseason game where Amen Hasnin just kind of wreaking havoc in the backfield for Joe Burrow. Look, it's preseason. It's against backup offensive linemen. Every single offensive line in preseason pretty much just stinks, which is why I'm glad Jared Goff and Jahmyr Gibbs are just not going to play. I'm totally fine with that. But I think Lions fans have a real reason to feel optimistic about this pass rush heading into the season. I'm not telling you Derek Moore is going to be, this all-rookie type of player, but I do think by the end of the season, the combo of him and Woonham could be pretty awesome across from Aiden Hutchinson, who I've made very clear my stance on. I think he is going to be a finalist to win a Defense Player of the Year. Finished 5th in that voting last year and now has a way better supporting cast, assuming McNeil is a little bit closer to the 2024 version of himself than the 2025 version of himself when he maybe came back a little too fast from the ACL injury. So I'll ask you this, Kyle. Is this a problem? Is the Lions defensive line a problem for everybody else, or is this just propaganda in the preseason?
I think if I had to lean one way or the other, it's probably more propaganda than anything. If I had to lean one way, but there's certainly plenty of reason to be optimistic. I'm not saying that you can't feel good about it, because also when you think about just this entire Holmes-Campbell regime, this is probably the best you feel about that group, right? About the entire defensive line.
We've been yearning for a guy across from Aiden Hutchinson, and now it feels like they've not only drafted one, but brought in a real guy too in Woonham. It's the best combo of guys that they've had across from Hutchinson the whole time. Plus McNeil and Tyleik Williams in the middle. I don't even know if it's up for debate. Maybe it ends up being a disappointment, but even if it is, this roster and how deep it is with Levi and Hasnim off the bench too, I feel like it's for sure the best supporting cast for Hutchinson.
Yeah. I mean, it obviously is, right?
Mm-hmm. So if that's going to, let's just play a scenario out for a second. This Lions defensive line is as good as we think it's going to be. It's around the 10th best unit in the NFL. Hutchinson is a monster and racks up 16 plus sacks this season. That helps out the secondary that lacks blue chip guys, whether Brian Branch is there or not, in a tremendous way that can't really be measured. That makes up for having, guys like Rocky Yassin, who, no offense to him, he has stepped up in big time ways when they've asked him to start, but is a backup corner at the end of the day. He's getting paid $3.2 million because they thought he was going to be the 3rd corner on the team. Guys like Roger McCreary, who's making 1.2. These are guys who are going to play that are probably not all that fit to be starters on Super Bowl contending teams. Yet if the defensive line is as good as we think it could be, I think that makes up for a lot of the lack of stars in the secondary. Playing that scenario, I think is kind of how the Lions put themselves over the top and become, one of the best teams in the league, because I guess I have an increasing amount of questions about their offensive line as we really get up close to the season. But if they could have a top half defense, which I think is on the table, have somewhere between the 12th and 15th best defense, that all of a sudden is how everything flips. And it's okay, this is going to be one of the tougher teams to beat in the NFL if we still think they're going to be scoring 30-plus points a game.
Sure. I still think that the secondary is such a depleted group right now that those are really lofty aspirations. Like, I don't even know if the defensive line being incredible can get them to be a top half defense, right?
If they're
Just with how
constantly
poor the
pressuring the
secondary
quarterback, I think it makes their lives easier.
I mean, they pressured the quarterback a ton last year, too.
They had like the longest time to pressure the quarterback in the NFL, though. Like, they racked up a ton of sacks, but they weren't getting to the quarterback very quickly, which allowed the secondary to get carved up. If they can increase that time to throw to where the quarterback's got to get rid of the ball a little quicker, that's how you help out the secondary. And I think that clearly was a something that Lions prioritized this offseason when even in the 6th round, like they take Skylar Gill Howard and this Tyree West guy who might not even make the roster, but like 2 guys specifically designated to pass the rush or to rush the quarterback in college rather than like stuff the run. And I think there was a shift in mindset from this past offseason to now to where, okay, we were so focused on stopping the run and running 3 linebacker sets and having guys that can stuff the, like now they're not even starting a nose tackle. Like they never really replaced DJ Reader.
True. And
I think that's telling that, okay, this team does want to get after the quarterback a little bit quicker than they did last season. They've made it a priority that they want to play nickel way more than they have been the last couple of years, according to Calvin Shepard. Like, they are modernizing themselves a little bit I think it's telling that they are prioritizing the pass rush. And I think Lions fans should be on notice about that and feel good with the results through 2 preseason games, even though it's preseason.
Well, and just because it's something that we've clamored for quite some time.
Correct.
You know? We need to get more guys available in the pass rush. And now they have some young guys and some fun young guys too.
Yeah, I think there's real reason to be optimistic there. One more preseason game. I would think that's when like basically nobody plays. Yeah, I think it's figured out by now.
For the most part. I mean, they had a pretty good amount of not full-time starters, but guys that are going to be getting run.
They started almost everyone but the blue chip guys. Yeah. No Jack Campbell, no Hutch, no Sewell, no Gibbs, no Amon-Ra, no J-Mo, no Laporta, no Goff. And then I think everybody else played. No McNeil either. That's a lot of guys.
What about the QB, though? What do we think? Who's the backup QB?
Oh, God. Oh, God. I don't know. Do you want the chaotic turnover-prone guy, or do you want the guy who has the pocket awareness of a sloth? Pick your poison.
I think at that point you just take whoever's actually played more quarterback and you just take Josh Dobbs, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that was very encouraging what we saw from him yesterday.
The fumble wasn't that bad. The interception was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was a really bad interception.
And the fact that it came immediately after the fumble.
Hey, but the read option touchdown, though, was pretty sick.
That was pretty cool. Caught the defense off guard. I think Petzing deserves the ball for that one.
Which is just so funny because they were also running a decent amount of option with Altmaier as well.
Yeah, that just wasn't going well.
Well, they're also just never going to run that.
I know.
You know, pretty funny. But at least it's in the bag for if one of those guys has to play.
I can't wait for the day that, you know, the classic Peyton Manning naked bootleg, or he just like runs it in undetected on the left side of the ball because everyone collapses into the middle of the
Rodgers
defense.
Has done that plenty of times too.
Yeah, the day that Goff does that is the day I like lose my mind. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt here on a Monday in the Great Lakes Bay region. Tee up at Sandy Ridge before the summer is done. Midland's hidden gem where every round feels like a little bit of a getaway. Now featuring a brand new clubhouse, part lounge, part hangout, all class, perfect for cooling down or talking smack after 18. Smooth greens, scenic fairways, and enough birdies to make your buddies jealous. Whether you're a weekend warrior or just there for the vibes, Sandy Ridge brings the game and the chill. Book a tee time, plan your outing, or just stop by and pretend you know how to read a green. Sandy Ridge Golf Course, the hidden gem that's way too good to stay a secret.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Nine 837-6125. That's the number to get a hold of us here on the Ben Bosscher Show. Got to make sure we're not missing anything, though. Here's Kyle with the news.
The Mits Morning Catch.
Hey, Kyle.
Hey, what's up, Ben?
Hey.
More time news. Yep. I don't know what I just said.
More time
More
news.
time
Yeah.
news. More news time, I think is what I was trying to say. Let's take a look at the Covenant Healthcare Orthopedics and Sports Medicine injury report. Look, it's never fun to make fun of an injury.
Unless it's Deshaun Watson.
Sure. Unless it's also Ashton Genty having the whole team say a group prayer for him ending practice early.
I can't believe your
some multiple
stance on
things.
this, man.
Unbelievable, dude.
What are you doing?
Unbelievable, man.
I
I'm
think
never
you
gonna
do
get
make
over
the
this
whiners
one.
category.
Man, it's so stupid, man. Anyways,
Guy's not allowed to pray anymore, according to Kyle.
over
Just a bunch of dudes
sprained
not allowed to
ankle?
pray over a guy's
That's
health.
disrespectful to prayers.
Okay.
We're doing it over little stuff like that? Oh, man, it's going to rain outside today. Hopefully I don't get rained on. I better pray for it. Come on, man.
I don't. You're gonna piss a lot of people off today.
What are you saying? I just think it was over-exaggerated, the Genty thing. That's all I'm trying to say.
I think it was over
Ending
exaggerated
practice early.
on
got,
Twitter.
He got
You're right.
carted off. For a sprained ankle, carted off? Are
I don't think
kidding
you
me?
would be feeling this way if you weren't doing a fantasy draft in the midst of all of it.
Of course I wouldn't feel this way. I mean, that's literally the only reason why I had this reaction, of course. Anyways, going back to the injury report, a goofy injury for a former Tiger, Casey Mize. He exits his Padres start yesterday after slipping in the dugout. After the second inning, which he'd already gotten off to a rough start, he slipped in the dugout after the second inning. He ended up leaving with a athletic trainer, but also it seemed like a little bit of something is up with Casey Mize anyways. It sounds like he might be dealing with the same adductor/groin injury that he had dealt with basically all season with the Tigers. His final pitch in that inning was an 88-mile-an-hour sinker, which is the slowest fastball, sinker pitch of his career. Like way down. And that was something that was a concern when the Tigers did trade him, was the velocity was down. But the slip in the dugout for Casey Mize is really the true reason why he leaves the start, apparently. Really tough.
Yeah, so both players from that trade are now hurt. Cash Mayfield and Casey Mize, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Great trade.
There's another guy in there
Swapping
that the Tigers got. They got another AAA arm in there somewhere, so. And Gage Workman was in
I was
the
about to say,
trade,
isn't that the
too.
one where Workman got moved?
Yeah, so at least those guys are, I think, still good. Okay, so yeah, that's the Covenant Healthcare Orthopedics and Sports Medicine injury report. Tigers are back in action tonight at 6:40. It's Mr. Framber Valdez on the mound, Mr. First Inning,
Yes.
up against Drew Rasmussen of the Rays. Let's do some golf news. How about that?
All right.
Wyndham Clark holds off Rory McIlroy to capture the BMW championship yesterday. A couple of sketchy Sundays it's been for the wins for Wyndham Clark. Of course, at the U.S. Open, he held off Scotty Scheffler after almost choking. And then Rory McIlroy made a big-time comeback, but it was not enough as Wyndham Clark takes that. So now we will head into the final week of the FedEx Cup this week with the top 30 golfers all competing. Scotty Scheffler, Clark, Cameron Young kind of all lead the top of this headline. But also, after the BMW Championship, we have the top 6 automatic qualifiers for the President's Cup, which is the U.S. versus Team International, essentially every country or every group outside of Europe, because the European countries are for the Ryder Cup. Your 6 automatic qualifiers for Team U.S. are Scotty Scheffler, Cameron Young, Wyndham Clark, Sam Burns, Russell Henley, and Colin Morikawa will automatically be a part of the President's Cup U.S. team. Other stuff going on in the news. College basketball news. Speaking of international play, the University of Michigan taking on the Lithuania men's national team this past weekend. I don't know if you saw this in an exhibition.
Saw a couple clips.
Yeah, Michigan loses to Team Lithuania by 12 yesterday, but pretty cool stuff. Notable things that came from this. Brandon McCoy, a starter for Michigan. Dropped 14 points starting at the 3 spot alongside Elliot Cadeau, Trey McKinney, Mustafa Cham, and JP Estrella.
So they're running 3 guards.
I mean, McCoy's not guard. He's a big forward.
Brandon McCoy, the 5-star from Cali?
Yeah, I mean, he's like a 6'7"
I always thought he was listed as
wing.
a guard.
I mean,
no, am I right?
I mean,
am
probably
I just
played
wrong?
guard. I mean, he's certainly a wing.
Okay.
But Trey McKinney dropped 15. McCoy was a starter, had 14. Quinn Costello, who is another one of those big forward freshmen that is coming into Michigan this season, 17 off the bench. And it sounds like he was the biggest winner from this, from what all the Michigan people that were watching this and kind of writing about it said. Like, watch out for Quinn Costello this year. Also, Mustafa Cham, he left, or he's dealing with a bit of a knee injury. He's the transfer from Cincinnati, so he didn't play a ton in this game. But
by the way,
that was pretty notable.
No shame in losing to a European team like that. Zero shame in that. But yeah, like all great signs if all those guys are playing well. I only caught a couple clips, but the fact that they're willing to start a 5-star freshman right away, I think is a good sign. Him and McKinney could end up being a pretty nice duo.
Yeah.
Considering Cadeau is still there as well with their new coach.
100%. NBA news, Klay Thompson is headed to the Miami Heat after reaching a buyout with the Dallas Mavericks. This kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But Klay is now joining the 3rd team of his career, spending most of his time in Golden State, Dallas the last 2 seasons, and now he is going to be with Miami. They needed a shooter.
They do need a shooter.
I think it's a pretty good fit for not much wiggle room for Miami to do.
Yeah,
it's a good pickup.
Obviously, Clay's not the defender he used to be, but you can get away with not having as great perimeter defenders if Giannis and Bam are your guys that are kind of waiting to meet guys at the rim. So 2 of the best rim protectors in the league. So I like the fit. Do you think he'll start? I don't think he'll start, right? Giannis,
who
Bam,
would start?
Davion Mitchell,
Who starts at the
Wiggins,
2?
And Wiggins and
Tim Hardaway?
yeah, I guess it probably is just Klay Thompson.
Clay's just certainly better than him. Yeah, I mean, even last year, Clay's still taking almost 8 threes a game. He's still
he's getting him up at a high rate.
Yeah, and he came off the bench basically all year last year for Dallas, but he's still an elite 3-point shooter and just stretches. He keeps the defense honest. So I think it's, especially with that
Which
lineup,
they need really bad.
they need that terribly.
Okay, I'm in.
So
I'm in.
I would assume he's a starter, but I guess he's at this point in career. I don't know if he is like a true full-on.
I don't know if he can
starter.
play that many minutes throughout the course of a season.
Sure. Yeah, he only played 22 minutes a night last year. He'd definitely be playing more than that in Miami. So, yeah, that's a good point. Also in the NBA, DeMar DeRozan officially signing with the Nuggets over the weekend. So DeRozan will be teaming up with Jokic, Murray. I don't know. I think Jokic, DeRozan could be kind of fun.
That'll be a good fit.
They kind of still need some shooting, but because Aaron Gordon doesn't space it.
Aaron Gordon
Cameron
spaces
Johnson
it every
doesn't
other
really
year.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know actually how much I like it really at all. Now that I'm thinking about it.
They're just
ESPN,
clearly
though,
not one of the 2 best teams.
No. And ESPN, they dropped their season predictions for the NBA already, win totals. They got the Pistons as the best team in the East this year. 53 wins, though, only as the best team in the East. Them and the Knicks both had 53 wins. They just expect the East to be much more competitive this year. But they had the Pistons tied for the 1 seed. Which
I wish I shared that.
Fearful.
I wish I shared that optimism. You and Brad have a lot more optimism heading into the year than I do with this Pistons unit.
I just think it's eerily similar to last year. Oh, we were so down on their offseason last year. All they did was add Duncan Robinson and play some Malik Beasley. They didn't do a whole lot, and then they were just way better.
I guess I also...
I mean, I wish they did more. I don't disagree
really
there.
Care about the regular season win total at this point because all those problems from the playoffs where you don't have another... yes, they have more spacing. That is without a doubt true. They still do not have a guy to take pressure off of Cade in terms of creating offense for himself and others.
Sure.
Which does freak me out in a playoff series. Plus, they don't have their starting center signed to a contract right now.
That's also, yeah, I mean, that part certainly is pretty concerning. And I think that could get weirder. We're definitely going to have some Jalen Duren discussion over the next month because it has to happen over the next month, probably towards the back end of that. So, yeah. I also think that in a competitive East, I do care about the regular season win total.
He went on Instagram Live on Saturday. I got in there and sent a few messages.
Oh.
Sign
the
contract.
Appropriate?
Yeah, they were all appropriate.
Okay.
I think I just said sign the contract 7 times. Please sign the contract.
Come on, man.
Give him a pen and sign.
What are you doing? Come back to Detroit.
Yeah, he was like in a marching band or something.
I did see
know
that.
what was
I think
going
it was
on.
some event, I think, back in his hometown. We'll do one more thing here in the news. And I'm actually going to do 2 more things. I always do at least 2, maybe even 3 more.
Sure.
Jahmai Jones. Anyone want to know his OPS with the Red Sox this year in 17 games? It's a 1,600.
Yeah.
He's been awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they made the wrong decision, but just wanted to throw that in there.
It's just not surprising. It's going to be Torkelson next year on a different team. He's just going to have 30 home runs again.
Yeah. Okay, Bryce Miller, the starter for the Mariners, did something that Major League Baseball has not seen in 136 years yesterday, Ben. You know how I mentioned they had another just terrible loss?
Yeah.
They lost 19-2 yesterday. The Mariners did.
After losing 21-0.
22, yes.
22-0 last week.
Bryce Miller was the starting pitcher in both of those games. He becomes the first pitcher since George Van Haltren of the 1890 Brooklyn Wonders to lose consecutive starts by at least 17 runs. That's I think I'm out for the year kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm good, guys. I'm good.
I think I'm gonna like have my season be over.
I'm gonna go spend some time with the family.
17 runs your team loses by in back-to-back starts. Oh my God, that's absolutely terrible. Last thing in the news, hey, we're gonna start doing this because Ben and I went to the DCFC match this weekend, and they got a huge dub over the number 1 team, Tampa. They won 1-0 this weekend. That was pretty sick.
That was really cool. Just like 90 seconds max on that entire experience. I'd never been to Hamtramck before, so that was an experience of its own. Just like so many different cultures, so many different languages being. I felt like I was in New York for a second. I was like, there's just so much going on, and it was really cool to do the march. Everyone marching to the stadium, collecting people as you go. You're seeing all different, ethnicities, languages, cultures, and everyone coming together for the sake of the soccer match, just in a neighborhood. Like it was. I don't know how many people fit into that little stadium, but it felt like I was at a D3 high school game, which gave it a really cool atmosphere to it because it was genuinely in a neighborhood. Game was fun. Soccer was fine. The chants were fun. Don't bring your children there if you are raising them to not curse because every single chant seems to have like these explicit chants, words in the chant, which totally different experience. I loved it. I thought it was really fun. I would love to do that once a summer with the whole crew we went down there with. Anything to add to that?
No, I agree. It was fun.
I've always said that the main purpose of sports, like, oh, why do you like sports so much? Like, is it just games? I'm like, they are just games, and I love them for a lot of reasons. But the main reason is because I think it brings people together who wouldn't have something to come together for if it not for sports. And I think Detroit has a long, rich history of that, dating back to the 40s and 50s. People rallying together for sports and being able to put their differences aside. And I think that was on display in Hamtramck for Detroit FC. So I thought that was really cool. So I figured I would share that. All right, 989-837-6125. 3 traditions to close out every show. When we return, it's the Ben Bosscher Show here on the Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back into the show. We've got a few traditions to get to, as always. The first of which is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Okay, that is what they should be doing to Deshaun Watson. Lock him up. Lock him up. Don't ever let him play again. Oh, wait. He's the week one starter.
Quarterback.
What do you think this is the $1 million question. Is Deshaun Watson a worse person or a worse football player? Because he's a pretty scummy person. He's also probably the worst starting quarterback in the NFL.
He's pretty bad at quarterback. I don't think there's a wrong answer to that question.
I think it's got to be worst person, right? Although, he's not the worst person in the world. He's in the bottom percentile, but
he's not the worst quarterback in the world.
He might be the worst starting. I think he's the worst starter.
But you or I would be worse at quarterback. I don't think
true.
we're worse people.
No, I can say with confidence we are both better people than Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he's a worse person for sure. Anyway.
So anyways, what's the lock of the day?
I'm going with the Tigers' Yurfie. Framber Valdez has a 6.93 ERA in the first inning, just constantly giving up runs early. They're going up against the high-potent offense in Tampa Bay. And also, I looked this up this morning, and I was kind of surprised by this. Detroit is the number 2 team in the league in terms of first-inning runs scored. You know that?
Yeah, they'd be getting up 1-0 all the time.
they win
and then blow it
after 6 innings.
Anything that's
best team in the league.
first 5 innings of the game, they're probably right at the top of every stat in.
And then things fall apart. So I'm going with the Yurfie today at plus 110. What do you think?
Yurfie.
And for those who don't know, it means yes, runs in first inning.
Yes, runs. Yep, screw it. I like it.
Okay, there it is.
That's all I got.
Yurfie plus 110 is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up.
Sorry, did I cut you off? Were you going to make one more point?
I was just going to let everyone know that it's not been a good August for Ben.
Oh, how many units down?
3.3. It's 3 straight weeks of L's to open up August.
Let's have a good week today. This week, all right? Easy. September is where we really make our money. It's time to find out if we really did our homework. Week 1, week 2 in the NFL season.
Yeah, you actually, September was your first positive month of the year last year.
Oh, it's the 9th month of the year.
Well, you didn't have it in the first 5 months, but.
Oh, interesting.
At least you know your months.
Okay, next tradition we have is our game of the day.
Game of the day.
Let's see.
I also, while you look for the game of the day, while I said that, you know the order of the months, right? You know what number is associated with each month, correct?
Yeah.
There are people out there that don't.
What?
They like don't know that
John?
August is 8. No, John certainly knows.
Yeah, John's a calendar guy for sure.
Yeah, like some people out there don't know like what month is what. It's like when you say
Who, children?
That's what I'm saying. It's like when you do the whole alphabet, like where does M, what letter comes after M? It's like, okay, I got to do A, B, C, D, E.
Oh,
like,
that I have
some people got
to
do the, yeah, but I'm saying some people have to do the, okay, January, February, March. This
No,
just
that's
came
crazy.
to light to me, and I'm like, people don't know the numbers of the months? March is 3.
Okay, Kyle.
Sorry, anyways. Anyways, it's the game of the day.
The game of the day is there's no wait, there is a Monday Night Football game, I think. Right?
No way, right?
I think there might be one game today.
Tonight?
Preseason week 2. Yeah. No,
There's
it was
a Monday
yesterday.
Night
No, it
Football-
was
I was about to
yesterday. It was
say.
yesterday. So I kind of got to hurry up here. Let's go with the Rangers and the White Sox, 2 teams vying for a playoff spot here in the American League. That's our game of the day.
Game of the day.
I got 2 words for you: Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must see TV.
And we're gonna temporarily retire scoreboard watching because the Tigers are not in a position to where they should be looking at anybody else's score right now.
That's true.
They
Gotta
just need to
win.
win. Yeah. which leads us to our final tradition.
You got to be within 3 games to scoreboard watch. That's our new rule.
Yeah. Let's and your best player on offense has to not be hitting sub 100 over the last 9 games.
Yep.
Let's do our final tradition. Let's guess what Colin Cowherd's going to open up his show with. You got a point on Friday?
Yep.
Okay,
69 to 68. I got a point. I'm winning. Let's go. It's my turn to go first. I'm taking the Browns quarterback decision.
Yeah, that's probably going to be it. I will take this entire WNBA saga that happened last night.
That's also good.
Between the Sky and the Fever, because Clark was amazing, but she gets overshadowed by former NBA
that's
player
also good.
Enes Kanter.
I don't really think there's any other preseason
the
stuff.
mix.
I don't think there's any other football stuff that's lead worthy, so I like that.
No, probably not. This Browns quarterback situation is bleak, to say the least. All right, 989-837-6125. We will be back tomorrow. Hope everyone is subscribed on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok for exclusive content. We'll see you guys at 9 a.m. Peace.
The Ben Bosscher